was like, film पे थोड़ी record हो रहा है ये.
नहीं सर.
No. Okay. नहीं, film पे
No.
नहीं record हो रहा sir. इतना Amartya and me are essentially running two podcasts. Neither of us are the
Yes.
Kind to waste film.
we will
Yes.
happily watch films on our laptop and be happy with it.
I
If
literally
Amartya keeps
ranted
going to
about it
shit
in my
cinema halls,
stories.
then yes.
Yeah, I literally ranted about it in my stories. I think people think I'm insane. इसलिए कोई reaction नहीं आया.
Okay.
They think that now.
Yeah, they think that now. I'm shocked.
Too little, too late anyway.
Yep.
All this will go in, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, any other things you want me to put in the episode before we start, or should we just start?
Can we talk about Sholay for a bit? Because I saw it. I really want to talk about it.
Yeah.
What I will do in the end is ask
Yeah.
you guys of one thing you guys have seen.
That's better.
Okay.
Yeah,
So all of
yeah.
you can say something. Varun, you can champion Sangam, of course.
Crazy.
Are you insane? You already chipped in, and that is more than enough.
I'm
What
dead,
also-
okay.
Also, one more thing. I'm going to ask you guys from the films which we had discussed last time, if there's any that you liked, like just say yes or no, and basically if there is something you want to say about them. It's very quick.
Oh, okay.
Not
Okay.
spending too much time on it, but
Understood.
I'll just throw that out. Anyways.
जादू मंतर जादू मंतर जादू मंतर You are going into the future.
You talking to me?
Ain't always BBC clothing. எனக்கு இன்னொரு பேர் இருக்கு.
Talking to me?
Queen is dead. Hello. Welcome to our second episode of Quid Catch-Up episodes. The first episode should be up by now, hopefully. And this is, as promised in that one, you'll have a new set of people, mostly for all of them. You have to bear with me for this one, but I'll be absent from the next English language feature one, so you can be happy about that. Because I'm not interested in watching a lot of the movies that are part of
Lovely
that.
uplifting note on which to start the podcast.
Yeah.
As you can hear, the first voice is of the person who might be in the third episode, so you have to bear with him. That's Mr. Varun, whose audio had issues before joining this episode, which gave me that brief, hope that that this episode might be less chaotic. The other person joining us for this episode is Amartya, our co-host only. I'm not going to say regular. My regular, like that would be
If you
unjust.
say regular anymore, all the guest appearances will be null and void. at this point.
I know. So Amartya is here, Varun's here, and we have returning guest in Arjun, who last came on the Paul Thomas Anderson episode. So as I made a bad joke last time that like we are splitting the episodes, like we are different groups of people are covering different films. Arjun and Ashwin are also doing that. Each joining for each episode to cover their basis about discussing some films. But the first episode was about the theme of the first episode was for girls and what was it? For gals and gays was the first one. And so, of course, why Amartya and Varun didn't show up for that.
Exactly.
I'm
because
laughing
we-
more at the way you said it.
Yep.
But no, I'm
Like an
kidding.
uncle trying to be cool.
Yep.
No, it's gals
He's
and
like
gays.
the
wasn't
Steve Buscemi meme. Hello, fellow kids.
Hello, kids.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
He's got that youthful haircut also to hide his age.
Huh?
All he
What?
needs is a cap.
Okay. Thank you guys. Anyways, what I'm going to do for each of the episodes is that I'm going to ask firstly, I'll list the titles which we discussed last time. I'll ask you guys if you've seen any, if you want to see any, and if you have, then what do you think about them? You can say that briefly only, because everyone's coming for different episodes. So I think it's fun to just do this. So the films we discussed were Die My Love by Lynn Ramsey, Bugonia by Yorgos Lanthimos, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You by Mary Bronstein, Hedda by Nia da Costa, The Testament of Anne Lee by Mona Fastwold, Wicked for Good by John M. Chu, and Peter Hujar's Day by Ira Sachs, which I know no one has seen. So the others you can, if there is any particular movie you've seen, you'd want to just briefly, in a sentence or two, talk about them, let me know. Otherwise, we could move on to our episode, which is For the Guys. That's the title.
Yeah,
Uh,
great.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I saw Bugonia out of that list
You've
entirely.
seen Begonia, yeah.
Yeah. Can't say it is weak Yorgos, but it is mid Yorgos. I
Sure.
think the ending is the part where the movie actually kind of sort of derails
Sure.
because
We discussed this a fair bit in
yeah,
that episode also, yeah.
yeah, because if he would have just kept it ambiguous, I think the movie would have ended on a more or less pitch perfect note because
Sure.
it's exactly like if the movie is supposedly hinting at a world
Yeah.
but which is not our world, it's
Mm.
better to keep it ambiguous
Yeah. I agree.
rather
I
than
wholeheartedly agree.
yeah, rather than provide definitive answers, because if you provide definitive answers then people are going to ask you, people will have lots of questions and then people will ask you lots of questions, which is what
It'll-
happened to me.
It
Yeah, so
diffuses a lot of the things
it
that it's going
diffuses
for
a lot
before.
of the exactly. It
Uh,
diffuses the conversation that happened previously before because
yeah.
that diffuses
Which are
the
great
intent of the
conversations. So yeah,
Yes.
like in the moment. So yeah, that was mainly our thing. Any other films you guys have seen, or everyone's just seen Begonia here? So
I've seen Die My Love from the
oh, you
list.
saw Die
Others
My
I would
Love?
not give. Yeah. Do you guys watch it?
No.
Only I've seen.
I want to
But no,
see
Arjun
it.
say. I mean, there's nothing to spoil in it, by the way. So
Yeah, I was
yeah.
kind of mixed on it, I
Okay.
kind of like the way it is like the performances. Jennifer Lawrence is great. Director
Yeah.
is great,
Yeah.
Even Sissy Spacek was great, I thought, even in a
Hmm.
small role. But
Yeah.
it's like very thinly drawn. This is
It
a
is.
criticism that I have for another film in the list. I will
Okay.
get to.
We
Like,
we I think mentioned again in the last episode that the criticisms we are making for some of these will make a very
yeah, come back.
vicious return in this one for the
This
first
one,
film,
yeah.
especially, which we are going to be talking about.
Yeah,
So
because these are like on paper, this sounds great. Like, Jennifer
yeah.
Lawrence playing this postpartum depression or whatever, a
Hmm.
mother going through that. But the
Hmm.
film just repeats the beats. It's like, going through the motions. I felt that, okay, like there's
How
something going
many
to
times
happen.
do you
Like,
need to see her scowl and growl,
yeah,
essentially?
scowl and growl, and it's okay to depict this sort of what that character is going through. But
Hmm.
after a point, it was just like I felt that the film was trying too much to do something that was not there was nothing on paper to back it up. So
Sure.
that is because I heard much great things about that film because it is Lynn Ramsey and the
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese executive producer and all that. So I was like, okay, very excited for it. But
So
it did not live
so
up to
wait,
that hype.
another Martin Scorsese executive produced movie that is apparently not that great. Oh, okay.
Which is the
Understood.
other one?
Who's the other
Homebound?
one?
Oh,
Oh, okay.
I
Okay,
forgot.
that's a different
Sorry.
discussion.
No, I've
Uh,
also just watched Begonia. I'm curious about Peter Hujar's Day actually because
okay.
Yeah, no
um,
one has seen that actually. It's like
just a
pretty.
sort of chamber play kind of, if you can embrace that format
Yeah.
properly, and which I don't think a particular film we'll discuss in a while does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
understood. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
but
Everything is
I,
like
I'm
black
looking
and
forward to
white.
that. But
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's
Begonia was
the.
my first time watching a Lanthimos movie. So
Yeah.
again, the ending doesn't work for me. But
Hmm.
and I did feel like the cycling got a bit much because it was all very, for a film that looked very eclectic otherwise,
Yeah.
the cycling scenes were all very samey. Like
Okay.
I was like, okay, you're not changing much about your framing of. I'm not demanding great sort of
No, you are allowed to demand great things of
dynamism.
Yorgos, but yeah,
No,
he
but there
plays
are
around fair bit
certain
with
number
form.
of there are only a certain number of ways you can show someone cycling. And
Sure,
if you're
sure.
shooting on like a VistaVision camera, you're not going to strap it to the damn pedal because
Hey.
you really can't separate the.
Give it to RGV, he
Give
might.
it to RGB, he might just do it.
I don't even want to give RGB a thought, let alone a camera, another camera. Okay, after department or whatever.
Let him sit there, just him. Let him
Yeah.
watch movies.
Just
right
say
from
his horny thoughts out on Twitter. for the world to read.
customary Sanjeet basically
No, no,
is
it's
the
funny you
reference in
should say
this.
this because I was just watching some Sriram Raghavan interview and he was talking about when he finished Ek Hasina Thi and he showed it to RGV for the first time. And Raghavan literally goes, he got up and he hugged me. And Ramu is not really the type to, just hug me at least. Wow, this is really detailed shade. But I really enjoyed Begonia except for that last bit, which I felt was, oh God, it's just
But it
completely
is
defeating.
taken directly, I think, from the
Yeah, so
Korean film. So yeah,
from the Korean film, it's a
Korean film.
remake
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
But
2003 Sable in Blanc.
I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to exploring more of
you'll
this.
But I
actually
think
enjoy
Wrote in a
Favorite
drip
and
drip.
all that quite a bit.
I think the Korean film, from what I've heard,
Hmm.
let me
Hmm.
phrase that fairly.
Hmm.
From what I have, the Korean film is of a very different tonality than
It
Bugoni.
is. It is much more broadly comedic.
Much more
I've
broadly.
only seen the first 20 minutes, so I'm speaking
So
from
I
that.
think
Yeah.
the ending for that tonality
It
might
probably
work.
works. Yeah.
Begonia
Yeah.
is just unnerving. Like
Yeah, it is
you
unnerving.
know, there's something off about this situation.
Yeah.
It's funny,
Hmm.
but
But
it's
it's
also
also off. Yeah.
That's the Lanthimos part
The
of it,
Last
right?
Lanthimos is thing only. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you. That was very nice and very concise.
let's move on to less
Less nice. Let us
less
be our
nice stuff.
normal selves. Yes, please.
Vicious takes
Yes.
here.
Yeah, so guys, I think Amartya, Varun, and Arjun have primed you for what this episode might be like, mostly. But listen, I have to mention this. We have not intended to group these episodes in a way where one becomes a bitching session and one becomes like a, praising session. These just felt like good groupings to me. If they don't to you, then please, you can abuse me, I guess. What else?
Or
But
re-edit the podcast.
Yes.
Like
no, I won't
download the
re-edit the
file and
podcast.
not you, I'm
No.
talking to the
Not you,
viewer.
all
Oh,
the
you
people were
for you.
saying. Yeah.
Sure, sure. But no, yeah, this is like the grouping in which this worked was the fact that these are films entirely centered around men. Most of them are directed by men, which is not, uncommon. But the one film which isn't, uh, the one film which isn't directed by a man is very distinct in its approach to the subject
Yeah.
also, I think,
Yeah.
compared to the other films. So it's, we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, the films we will be discussing today are, and these are, some of them are favorites, like some of them are liked by a lot of people, I know. So we don't have some people, like I know people who really love these films, but we don't have them on here, so I already apologize if you love it, but we don't, because we don't, and we will be very expressive about it. But anyways, the
I like how
films.
now, post 5th December, everyone is having to clarify extra hard that this is all a personal opinion. Lest we
I've
get
been
us
doing
death
this.
Sir,
threats
I've
this is
been
from
a
doing this
strangers.
for a
sir.
year.
This is a thing. No, sir. This is a thing that is going to happen in India for every December का first week. ठीक है? 2 साल पहले एनिमल पे हुआ था. इस साल धुरंधर पे हुआ है. 2 साल बाद भी कुछ की चीज के लिए होगा.
Animal Park, या जो भी.
Of course. Thank you.
I remember calling that movie Zoo. The first time Aryan told me about it.
Anyways, the films we will be discussing are Train Dreams, Roofman, The Mastermind, The Running Man, Blue Moon, Frankenstein, and J. Kelly. Uh, we will be beginning the discussion with talking about Train Dreams, which is directed by Clint Bentley.
Beautiful, ain't it?
What is?
All of it. Every bit of it.
And then we'll, whenever we are moving on to another film, we'll tell you. Whenever we are giving out, whenever we do decide to give out spoilers, we just need to, warn, just so that for people who are listening who maybe haven't seen the films, they and don't want to know the specifics. So yeah, some of these discussions for some of the films will be long, some of them will not be long at all, I think. So it depends on it depends on film to film in many ways. But yeah, we begin with Train Dreams, directed by Clint Bentley, and very much of audience favorite, I think, more than but I mean, it's even liked by a lot of critics. It's not like like there's a huge disparity between the critic and the audience score, but this whole thing that it is fairly popular title. It's a title which probably will make waves at the Indie Spirit Awards. I don't think it's made the Oscar leap. As of from whatever I know, though it might
Not yet.
make its way, the score might make its way, the cinematography might make its way. Edgerton, I doubt it, but maybe he does. But I think
I
that's
mean,
about
it's a
it.
packed category this year. It's very difficult to
It is
pick.
packed, yeah. So, I mean, I watched it. I'll begin. You guys can then, wash or you not wash, slap the film harder as we go down the list. But
You are
anyways,
not helping. You are not helping.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, continue.
okay, Train Dreams. As I said, we are discussing the premise, and these are premises written by me in one second, essentially one-liners, which everyone will be slow clapping at, or being very praiseworthy about it, even if they are shit. Anyways, the premise for Train Dreams is logger suffers in Bob Ferguson's words, life. We suffer a filmmaker attempting to poetically philosophize the suffering of his life. Is that right? Is there more to this
Yeah,
film?
works.
Okay.
Life. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Life.
No, you said it. You said it with too much of life inside you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I should have
Get in
said
your
it like this.
senses.
I should have said it like this. Life.
Yeah, burn your nerve endings and everything.
Yeah. Fully.
I think, Amartya, you've begun on a good note. So maybe you should start actually, and then we will go through.
Okay.
That
There
sigh
is
should
a-
be indicative of everything.
Yes,
but
fully.
please. Yeah.
There was a specific subset of American films that was directed by the late great Robert Redford starting from the 80s, which began with Ordinary People. One of those movies was something called A River Runs Through It. Okay. Now, I am not blaming Mr. Robert Redford. Frankly speaking, I really love his movies. Frankly speaking, I genuinely believe that he's a very good filmmaker. But I also think his movies carry a very specific strain of Americana that, to be very honest, doesn't jive. At least in the current climate, it didn't jive in the climate that it came out. To be very frank,
Yeah, the Reagan years.
yeah, the Reagan years.
presumably.
Yeah. So it didn't jive even in that time, but of course his movies would be quote unquote praised and even given Academy Award nomination simply because he was a very good director with actors and he was also very good at the filmmaking aspect of it. It's a different argument that all the stories he chose were almost always trite as fuck.
Okay.
That's the problem. Now, that was Robert Redford. Clint Bentley is no Robert Redford. And that's a bigger problem here because what we get here is a logger slash a white man who is essentially looking from the outside in, trying to go through the world and essentially just existing and essentially philosophizing utter nonsense.
But he doesn't philosophize. The film philosophizes.
The
He
film
is
philosophizes,
quiet.
yeah. If he
Yeah, he's
philosophized,
observing.
if he philosophized, I might have actually liked it because I would have actually reacted to his philosophizing.
Yeah.
The problem is
He's the pawn.
he's the pawn. Because an omniscient narrator, a very kindly omniscient narrator, by the way, क्योंकि हमें तो normal narrator नहीं चाहिए, हमें kindly narrator चाहिए.
Will
So,
Patton, no?
yeah, Will Patton. Really good narrator, by the way, honestly. Kind, omniscient narrator basically omnisciently narrates every single goddamn thing that is going on in the movie. And while I'm not exactly a hater of voiceovers, I'm a noir fan. Of course, I'm not a hater of voiceovers,
Yeah.
but voiceover have their own, has their own time and place.
Good voiceover can be really effective.
And the problem with this entire movie is the fact that if you are going to show me profundity in monotony, you need to give me something within the monotony to extract that profundity. You cannot
Monotony
just
and misery, both.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. You cannot just show me monotony and misery in patches or in montages with music and voiceover. That's not how it works, at least for me as an audience. That's not what is going to make monotony within the work and the profundity that comes from a life of hard scrabble servitude that is ultimately ending in vain make it give its own sense of tragedy. That's not how it works. All it becomes is a treacle tart version of 19th century Americana.
Yeah.
It's hardship shown through an Instagram goddamn filter.
Yeah. No, that's very succinct and very nice. I also have to mention that the narration you're mentioning is there, which would be a very, I think that there can be an interesting spin to this, of course, but one of the big things is that it is adapted from Dennis Johnson's novel.
Novella.
So
Novella.
the narration to me at least, the issue with the narration is that it's doing the work of, verbatim taking passages and reading them out to the audience, as opposed to having a separate function to it. There is a cup in the first, I think I texted Amartya saying that the first 10-15 minutes of this film are interesting, in the sense that the use of narration to me at least was interesting there, because I distinctly remember one scene where the narrator basically is describing stuff in a way where it almost feels like he knows more than the person involved in the story, of course. And this whole idea that there's a static shot, and like this act of violence happens within the static shot where this person is just observing. It's like a painting essentially. Like, you can compare it to, not to offend and not to disrespect. I just bringing in this comparison for the sake of it, like a Barry Lyndon shot, essentially, of like a painting like static frame.
Literally, somewhere Hemant and somewhere Devarshi literally had a stroke.
Hey, I am a huge fan of Barry Lyndon. I'm just saying that because the whole idea of this sort of poeticism, which for me, I watched it the first day it released on Netflix because I had heard Malaki, 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 and I was just like, yes, like my film, like, I want to watch this. And then I watched
मरियल
it.
भी है आपके आपके choices की तरह.
Yeah?
मरियल भी है आपकी choices की तरह थोड़ा.
Yeah. I mean, I see. This is it's very tricky though. Varun thinks I like films in which the
No,
depressing.
I'm being an ass about
Huh.
it.
But
I'm
yeah,
saying there's a
what
way
kabuddi
there's a
hota.
way to make this kind of movie. It can be deadening without being dull. And
Yeah,
Train
yeah.
Dreams is
It's
it's not
just-
even Train Nightmares. I wish it were that at least. Like, make it
But it is
harrowing
showing
for me.
nightmares. That is also the problem. Even the
No,
nightmares are
sir,
not
it is
nightmares.
not. It is trying to treat all of this as perfunctorily as it takes place in such a life.
Yes.
My problem is that I'm just too distant from all of it, and by trying to make it
No,
profound,
I
you're
don't
not
think it's
making it any interesting.
I don't think it's treated perfunctorily though. If it was treating it perfunctorily, it would be very interesting. I would think so. The thing is, you have the Brian Resnicka score, which is literally every string is pulling at your heartstrings, and I wanted to like genuinely throw it
Yeah,
out.
but the
So
thing is that contrasts with very harshly with the way Edgerton plays the character.
I think his
And the way
performance is good. Yeah.
he's very
He's
good,
internalized the
but
whole thing.
everything around him is just so like I'm not in like one moment William H. Macy is there, and spoiler alert, one moment he isn't.
Yeah, but that's life.
I need exactly, but the
Not
film
like
doesn't
that.
approach it like that, right?
Not like that.
But it needed, in my opinion, I think William H. Macy is a grounded character, which for a moment I was like, okay, this is a specific thing. Like,
Okay.
in this
Yeah,
novel's
yeah.
experience, I am seeing a detail, the kind of person that existed in the logger community, right? I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Hmm.
So he does this job. He's, in charge of, blowing up the trees or whatever that he's doing with the bomb and all that. And he's like a laughing stock between the members of the
Yep.
logging community and all that. So I was like, okay, this is fun. Then a random moment, then it cuts back to him and he's like, the beauty of the world and, the profound wisdom of whatever he has achieved. So I was like, okay, this is like, you need to build, like, there's no connective tissue here. Like, it's not like,
Yeah.
it's just like randomly assorted like images, which are beautiful, by the way.
Hmm.
Excellent cinematography and, the score is like,
Adolfo Veloso is the
really
cinematographer.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
because I like the Sing, the previous film this director co-wrote with Greg Quaida.
Hmm.
That was an interesting film that happened inside a prison, and
Prison, and
this
it's a
was
musical,
a
right?
set of Hamlet, production of Hamlet, and
Oh
that sort of
God.
thing. So it was an interesting film. It
Hmm.
had a documentary sort of an approach to the
Sure.
events and all. It was interesting, but here it is like he's trying to be profound,
Hmm.
but like these guys are saying, the perfunctory way does not work because you need to set up the specific details of what they're doing. Just
Yeah.
because there's a
Yeah, you
voiceover
need
going on
like
doesn't make it profound.
yeah,
Right?
I'm not saying that it is only restricted to me, but I can only speak for myself, right? As an audience, if you're going to see me hardship of 19th century tending towards 20th century Americana, you need to give me something more than look life. Give me
No, because
something.
there's so much things like there's structural changes happening around him. There's everything's happening, and I get that the whole idea is to look at it slightly like from like it's happening, but my life is passing by. So that's the perspective. I get it, but in that life ka perspective, there is nothing it like achieves. Like it's
Yeah.
like there is no specificity within his life. The Felicity Jones and daughter wala relationship is as generic can be. Like there is legitimately nothing in it. And
Yeah, on that, sorry, Roop, for cutting you off.
no, please
On
go ahead.
that, I felt like, what is my investment in,
Yeah.
and
Just
even if it is supposed,
man, wife, daughter.
and
That is the
it's
investment.
so, I used to, when, now it's 10 years ago, so I can probably be more pragmatic about it. I've written such stuff at the age of 16 where like people, for shock value,
Yeah,
where you're doing some bit of creative writing or whatever, and a certain thing happens to a certain character for shock value.
yeah,
It has to feel earned
yeah.
if you are bringing them into the story. Otherwise, don't bring them in. Just tell me they, like, he
They
is
exist.
regular 1
Yeah.
second. He is also not shifting
Apparently,
between.
sorry, just the book is much more eclectic and weirder, is from whatever I've
Weirder.
read.
Yeah.
In
So
its treatment of
essentially, the
Robert
movie is
Grenier.
flattening. Say essentially, the
Yes,
Yeah.
movie is flattening the
For
weirdness.
instance, the Chinese laborer who's like,
Yeah.
yes,
thrown off the bridge, right?
yeah,
In the book, it's actually he's also part of the team that
yeah.
pushes him
He's
off.
part of the team. I'm like, why would you remove that detail? I'm like, that makes him a
Because
much
that
more
detail will
interesting
make it
character.
political, right? It will bring in another texture, which is not needed for the director. So he does not want to go there, but he just wants to make him an observer. So this is the problem.
No,
So when
which can
you
also work,
Which
flatten
but
can
the
work. Which can
but his
work. Yeah.
observations are.
No, but
So I
also
was.
in paper, right? Also in paper, the fact that he sees the ghost of the Chinese
Yeah.
laborer,
yeah, yeah,
that might have been the intention of the observer getting, plagued by doubt and
Yeah.
guilt.
Guilt.
But we
Yeah.
don't get anything. But
So,
yes,
but I can make that same case then for that final frame of bloody Durandar when Akshay Khanna gets up off the gurney.
did we really need to bring that movie here?
No, I'm saying that you cannot give me these little
No, of course.
glimpses of something and say now. So I was reminded of a film I watched at Dhruv and my favorite film festival in the world, in our favorite city of the world. It's called Rim Dogitanga or Rapture, directed by Dominic Sangma. It played in competition, I think. And I was like, you've got too much of vibe and too much of plot both. You need to decide which gets sacrificed for
Varun, I'm
what.
very excited to know your thoughts on Sirat by Oliver Lax after you made just that comment, because that's my
For the
exact
longest
problem
time,
with it.
I said this is interesting. This is supposed to be a film set in North Africa, if I'm not wrong, and it's called Sirat for some reason.
Sirat. Yeah. Sirat.
And then somebody said, no, it's not Sirat. I said, okay, it's not about a Punjabi woman
No,
and
it's
No,
getting
no,
away
not.
from
but
somebody.
Oliver Lax has worked in that space affair, but it's not like
Acha.
it's a first time thing.
So I was reminded of Dominic Sangma's film, and I was like, over here there is both too little of vibe in that the vibe is the same.
हाँ वो तो
There is
throughout.
no there is no difference in the treatment of the landscape that he sees at home.
I mean, the train
that
comes.
he sees with Kerry Condon.
हाँ,
Sir,
sir.
I
हाँ,
can
sir.
keep going back to those
हाँ, sir.
SSS, thoda. It makes
no, I
no
think
sense.
I'll just
Suddenly
repeat the
that
criticism.
chainsaw shows
Sorry,
up,
man, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
right? And I'm like, but when did we get to this? Like, why
But I
is
think
all of this happening?
I'll
Every
get it.
time I see a rail line being created in a movie, a railway track being created
Once
in a
upon a
movie,
time in the West.
always I'm reminded of the end of the Western genre, the
Oh,
end
I
of
was
end of
about to go with a geography specific joke. I was like, oh,
No,
Amartya
sir.
is reminded of his childhood when they removed the train line from Kalimpong
नहीं
to
sir.
Jalpaiguri.
नहीं sir, वैसा नहीं है. I am not even going there. My point is every time I'm reminded of that because that is more, how do I put this? That is more symbolic, right? And that's the sort of symbolism I can buy into a movie that is literally called Train Dreams. So you understand where I'm coming with this. And even then, that is one of the symbolism that is perfunctory. That is perfunctory. That's just hinting at civilization coming in, but there is nothing to say about it.
But I guess the whole argument. Sorry, but Arjun, you go ahead then also.
I have seen two readings of this film. Okay, very interesting because it's like
Okay.
one reading is that it's about people being nonchalant about the violence happening against them,
Sure.
happening around them,
Yeah.
and living a life devoid of you being involved in what's happening around you and being just an observer.
Yeah.
which is like a political thing they're saying in US, what's happening and all that. Okay, then fine.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but
And
it,
another
but
argument is
sorry,
that,
sorry, Arjun, just to, but
yeah,
it ends on a note which is very
Hopeful.
celebratory
Yeah.
of that attitude
yeah,
also. So yeah,
it does that and it ends in a note where, look at it, life is so beautiful. Just look at, what's happening. It's a fleeting
Again,
moments of
again
joy that,
to rephrase PTA,
yeah,
life.
life.
Yeah, but
life.
anyway.
Yeah,
And the other thing is that it's an ode to the unknown, unnamed people of history who worked their
sure.
asses off to,
Oh,
make these big structures come
uh,
up and,
so Amartya has
civilizations
mentioned a hidden life,
yeah,
so I guess that also
hidden
Yes.
plays
life,
into
yeah,
the
that
whole.
sort of a thing. But, the seat is good following a
Hmm,
person in this particular way. The
hmm,
voiceover does not matter because if you're going for minimalism, then
hmm,
the voiceover this it's coming in contrast to that because it's not like it's trying to make these profound points, but the way the characters responding to these events are very different from what the takeaways for the voiceover. So, like you said,
yeah,
it's like the voiceover knows something that we don't, but at
yeah,
the end we understand that there's nothing much going on here. It's
yeah.
just the superficial,
And if you're
rantings
going
of the person.
and if you're
So it's
going
like
for a minimalist
very,
outlook, I
Hmm,
don't know if you agree with me on this, Arjun. If
hmm.
you're going for a
yeah,
minimalist outlook, remove the voiceover. That's even more minimalistic.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
remove the score. But anyways, no, no, I think my issue is like, okay, so I am a sucker for poeticism, good poeticism, of course, as you know.
Kaviraj.
I've consistently referred Mr. Malik all the time for whenever any reference has to, come by. But this is, of course, cut from the same cloth as Malik's films, but it's just devoid of anything. Like, to me, it was just such a empty experience to watch it. And then the voiceover, then, like, when you have so much time on your hands while watching the film and you're not invested in it, I was like, are they just putting in the voiceover because people on Netflix will be doing other stuff while watching this? Like,
The second
all
screen
those,
viewing.
yeah, second screen viewing. And it's like they could, I'm like, you could remove it entirely or you could just keep it. Like, there is no purpose. I just couldn't find any purpose in the film, which struck me as profound. The last shot of this film, I won't spoil it, but I mean, it will be spoiled if people are aware of this other film I'm going to bring in. But the last shot of this film mirrors exactly the last shots of Mike Mills's 20th Century Women, which is a gorgeous film, in my opinion, and gets at this profundity of life or of living in a particular period in time 100 times better, I think, than something like this, just because it is so committed to capturing those people in that period of time, and that's very specific to them. And then when it makes its final statement, it doesn't ring hollow like it did in this. I was like, why is a Terrence Malick film seeming like a Robert Zemeckis one, with like the sentimentality is of a Robert Zemeckis
Wow.
one. I don't, and I'm not like, it's a
But
different
that's a
register
pretty
though.
good,
I
yeah, way to
I
explain.
was I slandered Robert Redford. You are slandering Robert Zemeckis. Nice.
No, no, the
It's like the
sentimentality
Sundance
works in a
aesthetic,
different
right?
register,
Yeah, yeah.
though.
Very
What
Sundance
Amartya was
specific.
saying,
Hmm.
it's
Yeah,
like a Sundance filmmaker's dream. Okay,
yeah,
this is going to be my debut. That kind of a
yeah,
film.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
going to be very minimal, but I
So
have these
Hmm.
influences that I include in the film because I
So
like
in
these
a way,
filmmakers. It's like a
Train
cocktail of
Dreams.
it.
So in a way, Train Dreams is the perfect Sundance film because it is
Yeah,
essentially replicating Sundance ka filmography. It's Sundance ka filmmaking only.
Yeah.
the
Nice.
tropes are all there.
Tropes are
Yeah,
there.
they're
Yeah,
just
yeah. All of them are there.
yeah, yeah.
And people have bought it. So, like, good for Clint
Works.
Bentley. Good for him. He shall
And he knows
continue
better,
this.
so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Americans are dumb. Yeah.
Oh,
It's okay to
God.
I
do
mean,
it.
I
Amartya.
don't
It's
want
not
to
just
get into
Americans
that.
who
It's
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
people
people have
have
liked
liked
the
it.
film.
Yeah.
It's got a
Nah.
4.1 on a cinephile heavy website like
Yeah.
Letterboxd. I mean, it's fair to say that the film is doing well across
People
the world.
like no. This is not any criticism to anybody. This is not a criticism to people. People
Hmm.
like to feel smart. So people
That
like
is
to understand.
criticism.
No. People like to understand profundity being spoon fed to them.
Sure.
So in
No,
a
I
way,
think
that's good.
what struck people about it is that unlike a lot of staple Netflix fare, this is more minimalistic with the whole
Art house.
minimalistic ka copyright version.
Uh-huh.
Uh, it's that kind of, and of course it's talking about a less materialistic life and all that sort
Yeah,
of
and
jazz
showing
that
that
you're,
to showing that to people who are subscribed to Netflix.
Yeah,
Of
I know.
course.
I mean, all of life is contrary to what we want it to be, right? And what we
Yeah.
Yeah.
espouse. Like I say, I'm not a materialistic person, but I also own upwards of 200 books.
Yeah.
So how can I claim to not be materialistic? So I'm like, okay, I'm selectively materialistic.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a film that's
The cloak
appeal to
of
a lot of people. That's
profundity.
fine. And no, whatever it is, I just think that it's not a very interesting film because a
Same.
film should affect, apart from being an art form, which I do believe it is,
Hmm.
if it's not doing something new within the artistic
Artistic
space,
space. Yeah.
it should make me feel something. This made me feel bored.
Sleepy. I slept. Not in a good way.
Quite sleepy, but like I
So
kept
not in a
opening my eyes.
Tarkovsky way. Understood.
No.
Yeah.
Tarkovsky's sleep is different for me, but my good sleep would be I slept while watching Peter Huja's Day also, but I had a very cozy sleep. Like I was
Did you
like,
wake
nicely
up and you
induced,
switched on
like,
the film again?
Yeah.
I woke up, I switched on the films from the beginning again. I didn't start
I
it
like
from
the
the
fact.
middle.
I like the fact that Dhruv का criticism is two layers. एक layer is मुझे क्या नींद आ रहा है.
No, but
फिर
I sleep a
movie का
lot while
quality
watching
के
films.
अनुसार मुझे review करना है movie.
No, at
Nice.
home, I sleep a lot while watching films. There are films which, if I wake up, I want to start them again. And there are films,
Yeah.
if I wake up, I want to start them from the moment where I slept off and rewind maybe 5 minutes to give me less guilt about what I missed.
Yeah.
So like today, I was dying to sleep while
During
watching
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, and I didn't, so I just had to go through it. So it's one of those things. But anyways, no, Train Dreams did make
Queen
me
is Dead
sleep.
has a good track record of like falling asleep while watching movies.
But I do this at
fortunately does
home.
it at home.
हाँ,
He
मैं
doesn't,
cinema
he
में नहीं
doesn't
करता.
pay he doesn't pay good
Fortunately.
money for it to go sleep on a recliner chair 30 other asses have been on in the last day.
Hi, Sanjeet and Aryan.
Aryan.
Anyways, I think we've covered enough of Train Dreams. Anything else you
Yeah.
guys liked? I didn't know Kerry Condon was in it, so when she showed up, I was like, oh, nice, Kerry Condon. Like one of
No,
those.
when I saw her, I said, "Oh, Sanjeet."
Okay, fine.
That's the kind of character that would work in a novella, right? But in a film, when you see that out of random a
Yeah,
person comes in,
where
I
they're
mean,
just in
there is a
expository sort of.
yeah.
I did
They're-
like I did like the Joel Edgerton. I think he
Yeah,
was
yeah, he's
I
good.
think he was good for what
Yeah, he was good. He was
he
great.
was very good for
Joel
the
Edgerton was
material
great.
given to him.
He does
So,
stoicism well only, I think. He's been
Yeah.
a good
No, you could
stoic
feel
sort
the
of.
pain in him, like this like
The Dadi
generational thing,
also
like
suits,
this
sorry,
whole
like beard
yeah.
suits him. Yeah.
One
mhm.
lifetime is just passing us by. I
Mhm.
Yeah.
think the performance sells it to an extent.
Sure.
More than the
Mhm.
movie. Yeah.
Movie itself.
Sure.
So yeah,
Mhm.
that's the
Yeah, I mean,
what I
there are
think
two
about.
films in this that we're discussing where life is passing people by. In
Yeah.
the other, it is so much better done that you're like, then when you look at a Train Dreams, you're like, God, this is just,
You know
at
better.
some level, you're like, this is lazy filmmaking because you know what you'll get away with.
What film are you
Like,
talking about?
Mastermind is about a man who's not
Oh,
attempting
okay,
to,
okay. Should we
engage
just
with
go
his
on to
world
that,
dream.
or I was
No,
okay.
I was just talking
Wha-
about
wha-
it as a comparison point.
Sure.
Why
To
would
me,
you
that
ask
is really the
why would you
problem.
ask Varun any question? Just remind yourself which movie Varun liked. There are
Yeah,
very
I was like, is he being like complimentary towards the movie we are next going to be talking about, but he doesn't like? But I think we'll move on from Train Dreams at least. I think everyone has expressed their displeasure. There is no, and some little bit whatever we liked, but I knew coming in that this is the film which will get this, and one more film will get the least amount of sort of a tug of war between of opinions at least, because universe, like of the four of us, none of us were fond of Train Dreams, for instance. Next film though, two of us are very fond of. One likes it and one really doesn't like it, and because you were mentioning the life passing by element, this is also a theme in Blue Moon by Richard Linklater.
Sort
Richard
of is, yeah.
Linklater, yes.
They should put my picture on that bottle. The whiskey that made Loren's heart unemployable.
So that's the second film we are talking about.
I
It's
do
written.
have a question about it, about the
Okay.
performance. I don't know about how much any of you have read. Is it true he's doing part of it on his knees like Kamal Hassan?
They have done a
No,
lot
no, I
of
think they did a perspective this thing.
Perspective
Perspective, right? I don't
Yeah.
think a
Yeah.
50-year-old man is going to bust his knees like that.
I mean,
No,
he
no, but
I
might,
think
but
they
still,
I
created
mean, he's
holes on
Ethan
the ground.
Hawke. He
They
might,
didn't find it.
he might do that
hmm,
simply for the kicks of it. But
yeah,
ठीक है.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's old school that way.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Anyways, Blue Moon, the premise is it, this is out online, or like
It's
everywhere.
out theatrically in parts of the world, and I think it's
Okay,
streaming as well. Yeah, yeah.
sure.
I mean, it's still
Uh,
playing at my local, so
which you were probably glad you didn't go to watch at,
I
considering
mean, no,
what
I
you
was
thought of
saving
it.
money for Hind Rajab, which is next month.
Oh, nice.
Nice, nice,
Nice.
nice.
Anyways, Blue Moon, the premise is man suffers, in Lawrence Hart's words, life. But he moves through it because you have to. That's why I would
If
leave it.
Train Dreams was,
That's
if
pretty
Train
much.
Dreams was, Train Dreams was live.
Hmm.
Okay, Blue Moon is essentially live. It's all a
Even more,
dream.
no, it's like life, 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 life. It's like
I
Life,
think
chanting.
I
life.
think Blue Moon is fundamentally sadder because this is a man who knows he's badly off
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
and who's
This is
trying
a
to
man who
project an
knows that. This is
outward.
a man who knows that he's facing obsolescence, but he's still not ready to
Yeah, who's
accept
not
My
He can
accepted.
see the,
my
yeah,
other
everything going away.
pitch for this would
Yeah.
have been this is Richard Linklater's Inside Llewyn Davis because it reminded me so much of it. Because
Interesting.
Inside Llewyn Davis is one of my favorites, and I like the Coens much more than Linklater in general as a filmmaker also. But this is the first Linklater film I've liked, like really liked in a long while. We were very cold on Hitman here.
Oh, we were
We didn't.
downright rude to that film.
You don't like Noel Walk?
I've not seen it, Arjun, yet.
Oh,
But
okay.
And I
and
am
You
not
should
go
listen
Ashwin,
to it.
and I am
I
not
liked it.
going to.
Ashwin
I'm all
discouraged
for
me
it.
a little
I'm all
bit,
for it.
but
I'm
Ashwin
not going to
discouraged
for
me
a very
from.
different reason. I'm not going.
Impeccable vibes. That's Linklater for you,
Okay.
Yeah.
like
Okay,
genius
but,
levels.
but this was one of those films which I'll just begin and then we can go to
Mhm.
Varun next from after me because then he's the one who doesn't like it at all. Um, but I mean, what were you talking about in Train Dreams, right? Firstly, I think this whole idea of you take an ordinary person in that film and you show him going through life miseries, it's a different thing. But when you take a person who is a has-been, in the case of Lawrence Hart here, and is basically putting on his last performance inside a sad bar where he himself is basically giving it his all, essentially like, look at my misery in a way, look at what I am, look at how I'm trying to make sense of my life in a way which is tragic, but I'm always like covering it in a,
Yeah, there's a sense
you
of
know,
exhibitionism almost
yeah,
about it.
100%. Like theatricality, the
Yeah.
inherent theatricality of the performance is baked into the fact that this guy is using the words to distract from his sadness. He's using it as a refuge from the well to essentially drink himself to death because it's the first I questioned as usual, like the first moment of Blue Moon essentially shows us that this man dies in a fairly
Yeah.
pathetic way, and I think the whole idea, I was like, but why would you, like, like, it's one of those things which is like, okay, interesting that you decided to show it to me here. But then I think that does add this layer of sadness already to the whole idea that this is uh what his fate was, and that his very desperate attempts of trying to be relevant, of trying to connect with his partner, as in, and again, there's a line in the film where do not make or do not focus on love stories but friendship. So his
Yeah.
relationship with Andrew Scott and how desperately he's trying to rekindle a sort of memory for him of the previous Lawrence Hart that he knew, and trying to just make something out of this moment he has, I thought was really moving. I didn't get exhausted, and I think this is what the complaints will be, and I totally understand why it will be like that. I didn't find him exhausting, I think, which is the big thing. I thought Ethan Hawke's delivery and the way he was going about uh, the the role had the perfect amount of sort of pithiness almost, or like a sort of the comedy very much scraped off the self-pitying element for me. The self-pitying was, like, counterbalanced also by the extras surrounding him in that bar. Like, I think everyone came in and did that great job of either knocking back against him, or even in the case of Margaret Qualley, who Varun mentioned has not much of a role, but I thought is a very crucial presence in the film, and shares one of the I think the best scenes of the film actually. But yeah, I think the way he interacts with her is very different to the way he interacts with other people. So we were talking again in Train Dreams about the lack of difference, of the monotonous of essentially, going through that life in a way which you just are not interested in. In this, I was like, how is he going to interact with this person, this person, this person, this person, this person in that bar? So, to me, that had that variation to it. And I thought the dialogue was great. It's written by Robert Caplow. It's not written by Linklater himself, right? So it's written by Robert Caplow. I don't know if
And
he's
based
written other work
significantly on like
on
letters
Lawrence
and stuff
Hart's
like
letters,
that.
right? Yeah. But yeah, Linklater's direction is very unflashy. And you said stage, I think Varun will stay stage play like, right? Or stage play only. I didn't
Stage play
feel
worthy, not stage play
stage play
like.
worthy, sure.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel the theatricality making itself like, a big distraction. At least for me, it didn't. And I thought his performance essentially being of a theatrical variety added to his desperation, to me at least. But yeah, Varun, go ahead, dump all over whatever I've said.
No, I think it's just on a film level, it doesn't work for me. Like
Sure.
fundamentally, I find it flawed in terms of how it stages the whole thing. I
Mhm.
get that it's trying to use this, and I'm a big fan of like single
You're a big fan of
locations
bars?
because
Yeah.
not really,
Okay.
because we call them pubs out here. We don't call them bars. Um, the thing is that
वरुण अंग्रेजों के जमाने के पब्लिक है एनीवे
हाँ,
कंटिन्यू
I
नहीं, मैं
know.
अंग्रेजों के देश वाला पब
They,
हूँ.
देश वालों जमानों के भी हो बट ठीक है चलिए
हाँ,
सर, जो अशोका का दोस्त था वो मुझे क्या ताने मार
तो
रहा
वही ना
है. साथ में बैठे थे ना
नहीं
कलिंगा
सर
के बाद.
नहीं सर
Anyway, so the thing for me was that I appreciate a single location in not in a hateful eight kind of way, which is
okay, fine.
an annoying
क्या
movie,
कंपैरिजन है
but like in a 12 Angry Men, I really enjoy it. Right, where
Yeah.
there is a lot of and movies which are dialogue heavy are insanely good because if you can do it well, it's to me just fundamentally a very interesting exercise of human interaction.
Yeah.
Over here, everything felt so dialed up that I was like, I do feel like, and none of it felt like, none of the frames felt thought through in a deliberate way,
Sure.
except maybe that scene with Hawk and Quali
Hmm.
in the cloakroom,
Yeah.
where the way you squeeze them into that narrow confined space, and then how you shoot it is sort of part of the dramatic challenge of it. The rest of it, I was like, yeah, man, fine. You were better off making a play of this because I don't find this particularly cinematic.
Sure.
And to me, cinematic doesn't need to be, again, I should say this, it doesn't need to be out in the open. There's plenty of cinema that's great cinema which is set indoors entirely.
Yeah.
So, but none of it came together, and at some point, in fact, I found the music very irritating.
Oh, I really like the music.
I found it just got on
I
my
agree
nerves
with you
probably. Like,
I
Okay.
agree with you
I was like, there's too much of it. Like, I want to listen to the guy because there is, and Hawk is tremendous in the film. He's just really good, and that desperation drips off him, even without the theatricality. But if I say, okay, the theatricality is part of the design, does it work or does it not? It works, but the film around it is so almost inert,
Okay.
and the drama is so flaccid, really. Like, it's not going anywhere, and you know it from the get-go. Perhaps because of the death, right, at the beginning, where you know nothing is going to come of this. For me, it worked the other way because I knew
Sure.
nothing was coming of it. There was no drama left.
Sure.
Like, how is he going to go about it? And because there is no animosity, like he's constantly trying to pin, sort of, to push Andrew Scott's character almost into a corner with how he behaves. But Scott's character is almost sympathetic to him. He pushes back a fair bit, as anybody should when your friend is like annoying. But he's also accommodative of the fact that this man is struggling.
Yeah.
I feel like that was interesting drama. I thought the whole interaction with the creator of Stuart Little came out of the blue and left me wondering just where and
Oh no,
why
I
this
liked it because he was the
whole
only
That's
thing.
one
like
who was sort
inside
of.
baseball, like film that sort of
You
storyteller
know what
meeting
it
together.
reminded me of? It reminded me of my biggest screenwriting problem with Oppenheimer, which is that
Okay.
end. Oh, who was the differing senator? oh, he's a young up and comer from
Oh, is
Massachusetts,
that the
John F.
basically
Kennedy.
the
I
Oh,
was
the
like,
say the
Truman.
Robin
fuck
moment?
off. Yeah. I was like, fuck off. And then also I said, fuck off. This time also I said, fuck off.
Okay.
I don't care for this.
It was interesting to see, right? Like a little detail, like a throwaway line, like,
I
something
mean,
that might,
yeah.
like, anyway, they are like going back in history and, trying to
Sure.
revive the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Because
The
Lawrence,
thing
we
is, the
don't know any of
film's
that.
already crowded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, film is
Boyfriend
very
with Quali
crowded.
is supposed to be George Roy Hill, the
Mm-hmm.
director
Yeah,
of The
George Orwell.
Sting,
Yeah,
and Butch
And Butch
Cassidy.
Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm like,
yeah.
if everybody is a somebody,
Hmm.
then adding this also to the mix becomes that's the bit that pushes too much into this whole
Okay.
setup. I'm like, okay, I've sort of checked out. I felt Quali didn't have enough to do in that the the vibe is going for sadness. To me, it's just creepy.
I
There
mean, it
is
is a
something
mixture of it. No?
I didn't find that to be very well conveyed. Like
Okay.
she's pretty I don't again I don't want social justice out of their interaction.
Mm-hmm.
I want the film to understand that there is an imbalance over here.
Hmm.
And I don't think it addresses or well not addresses, I don't think it appreciates the fact that there is an imbalance there. It
Interesting.
understands that there is an imbalance of emotion,
Hmm.
but and the rest of it is kind of, you know, forgotten.
Sorry,
I
so
mean, not to
what
give the film, not to give the
yeah.
film too much credit per se,
And
but to be very fair, the film is based on the letters shared by
Oh
these
yeah,
two, right?
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the film is not about
But
their
I
interaction,
think
right?
for Quali's character does not show as if she's like using him to reach this
No. I don't.
partner.
I think it's a mutual friendship
Yeah,
of some kind. I
she really likes him, but it's just that she's unaware of what's going on inside him. She thinks that
him
she just sees him like a fling or
a
whatever, a
ment
friend
or a
or
mentor
fling,
or whatever. Yeah.
a mentor, or a
Hmm.
story that he can just tell everyone that I met this girl.
Yeah.
She's so beautiful. I don't want to talk about anything else. That sort of a thing. But in the final frame when she lives with Andrew Scott's
Andrew Scott.
character, and she was like she could see that he was happy for her.
Hmm.
So I didn't see that emotional imbalance as in the way they parted
I
ways and all that.
okay. Interesting.
So I didn't see that
I
part.
didn't. I didn't think he was
Yeah,
happy for. I think it was more like an accepting of okay. I am.
yeah.
Everyone
I'm
is going to
cooked.
leave me. Yeah. So it's
Leave,
basically
yeah.
I have this bar to me
I think
essentially.
I think that the thing is, look, this essentially what Linklater is trying to do is essentially tap into the insecurity of any creative personnel.
Yeah.
Right. So anybody who is involved in any creative field, whatever
Hmm.
be the creative field, if you are a
Hmm.
writer, if you are a writer of anything, you are in a creative field, they are always plagued by self-doubt.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest inclination in and of itself which Linklater is trying to explore anyway. And history, I'm not a like history buff of American musical theater. For
Hmm.
God's sake, I don't even like
Yeah.
musicals. Why the fuck
Hmm.
would I even care about that? But
Hmm.
the point being, apparently, according to history, these things have all happened. Like
Yeah.
Rogers and Hammerstein, even for a like musical theater noob, I mean,
Hmm.
I'm less than a noob in that regard. I have heard of
Hmm.
Rogers and Hammerstein.
Hmm.
So considering that, and I've heard of Oklahoma,
Yeah.
but that is more because I've seen the TV show Watchmen rather than actually listen to
Oh.
Oklahoma. But you get the idea that I know what this is, and this speaks to the cultural cachet that a team up of Rogers and Hammerstein actually carries, and the fact that the entire movie is essentially about exploring Hart realizing his own obsolescence. My
Hmm.
issue with the movie is what is Linklater's greatest strength being pushed to self-indulgent limits? I believe Linklater is a very good conversationalist.
Hmm.
What he's not is a good monologue writer.
Okay.
I think that when he is exploring Hawk's own interiority,
Hmm.
or when Hawk is essentially doing the Lawrence Hart or insert any creative personnel who is so plagued with self-doubt but who is blessed with too much articulation that everything that comes out of his mouth is word vomit,
Yeah.
that is literally any creative anywhere imaginable, all right?
Hmm.
So you do that, and word articulation or word twisting or referring to poems, referring to stories inserting random disparate elements everywhere,
Puns, a lot of good
puns and into sentences to make yourself sound clever, cool. It helps you control a room,
Hmm.
but it also becomes utterly exhausting, especially if you are the only one who is the smartest person in the room, and everybody else around you are essentially glorified extras who know that they are glorified extras because they know that they can't do anything about it.
Hmm.
That's essentially what the first 30 minutes of this movie is, which is why it was so bloody exhausting
Hmm.
for me.
Hmm.
The movie, pardon my pun, the movie sings when the movie actually becomes about the conversations
Hmm.
between Rogers and Hart
Hmm.
and between Hart and Elizabeth Wayland.
Hmm.
I especially loved when Hart and Rogers are speaking because within their conversation you can understand their history.
Yeah.
Within the conversation takes, and I believe Hawk is exceptional. I really liked Andrew Scott in this.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's very
He's
good.
great in
He's
this.
also used much better. I mean, not to ditch like the Ryan Johnson. I think did a little bit less with Andrew Scott, of course, but like
Yeah,
this
makes
really
sense.
uses him very well.
I mean, over here the character has primacy. So, matlab,
Yeah, yeah,
there is
Yeah.
that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
100%.
You get
And
the
also,
context without much explaining. You get
yeah,
exactly.
understand the chemistry
yeah.
between
And
these people and all that.
this is also becoming like part of a series of films where films are essentially understanding that you can provide context by just referencing the world through normal use of dialogues or normal use of world building without using exposition.
Oh
Please see the
wow.
secret agent. Please see the secret agent. Please see Mastermind. Please see Blue Moon. Please see. There are a lot of such movies that have come out this year itself.
There are lots which also don't do this, so that's
Yeah,
also
Yeah.
there.
I
that's
mean,
also there.
that's more a stylistic choice ultimately.
Yeah,
Stylistic
but
choice
I
for
am
You
sure.
can, if
realizing.
you can pull off the other variant convincingly, then nobody will complain.
No, nobody will
But
complain.
which
But the
which
point
film
is,
has?
I mean, that's what I'm saying, right? That if your
nobody can at
conviction
this
is not
point.
there in the kind of filmmaking you're doing,
Hmm.
Yeah.
He's
which
saying the
is
balance has not been achieved till now, like
yeah.
in these
Kind of,
films
yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
least.
And
Yeah.
I think in this scenario, you completely understand what the relationship between Lawrence Hart and Dick
Roger.
Rogers is.
Yeah, yeah,
Dick Rogers is because, like Dhruv said, I think you only said this, right? Like there is a mix of exasperation and affection within Rogers
yeah.
towards Hart. He
Hmm.
knows the ticks of Hart to the extent that he also knows that he also references the fact that he was in hospital. He was in the hospital once
Yeah.
because of his over alcoholism,
Hmm.
where he would finally be found
Yeah.
4 days later, dying essentially.
Hmm.
So it's
Four
like
days to nahi. It's like 7 months later, no?
no kind.
Yeah,
Matlab,
something like that. Yeah.
7 months later, he
Because
would
he
be
wrote.
found is
Sometime later,
Acha,
yeah,
okay, like
yeah.
7 months.
after. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. 7 months later, he would be found in the lane, and
Mm-hmm.
then after that, he would be found dead 4 days later
Mm-hmm.
at the hospital.
Sure.
So that's the thing, right?
Hmm.
You are getting a sense of shared history, and it is, of course, catnip to a lot of musical theater nerds. Chris, I'm referencing to you. So
Hmm.
you can understand where all this is going. What I really liked about the quali performance, and I know this, matlab, this confusion that happens, like this is a sort of confusion that also happens with people who have high EQ, like high
Hmm.
emotional quotients.
Hmm.
uh, this reminded me very much of a very a noir, not unsurprisingly,
Hmm.
that is Laura. If anybody has seen Laura, the
Laura. Oh, as in the noir. Or
noir,
the
the Otto
Auto
Preminger noir,
Premingers,
auto
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the Otto Preminger noir,
Hmm.
where the main culprit of the
Hmm.
murder was Laura's confidant,
Hmm.
was older than her, who
Hmm.
wanted to be a mentor to her, but who had secretly fallen in love with her.
Hmm.
That was the initial source point of a series of characters who are very much like indebted to real life experiences of people within the arts
Hmm.
who find muses significantly younger than
Yeah.
themselves,
Hmm.
who also have the potential to become their lover. uh,
Yeah.
I don't remember Phantom Thread, but I think Phantom Thread also kind of has that similarity
A little bit, but it's
a
more
little.
focused on the quali character. I mean,
On
in
the
the in
surface,
that
I
case,
yeah.
the
mean,
Alma.
in
Yeah.
Phantom Thread,
Focus, yeah.
she's not his muse in that
No,
kind of
she is.
in the conventional sense, in that
Sure.
he's still obsessed with his work.
Work,
He's
yeah.
People
still,
tend
yeah,
to get
yeah.
obsessed with the muse
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
opposed to
Understood.
with the
I
work.
mean, he
Understood.
wants love, I think, from anyone in any form. I think he's
No,
craving it from
I
anyone
think
in
what
any
I'm
form.
getting, I think what I'm getting at with the Quali and Hawk relationship is essentially that it's like just being under the orbit of Quali's character, because that's what, according to him,
Mm.
Quali is.
Mm.
It's like essentially like uh how do I put this? It's essentially like in the 60s. In the 60s, if you are within the orbit of Andy Warhol, you were essentially cool.
Sure.
Please look at Velvet Underground.
Yeah.
Please look at Nico.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. If you are, he's essentially framing Elizabeth Wayland and Dick Rogers as
Mm.
the North Star to which everybody else should revolve around.
Yeah.
And while he's framing them, he's also essentially bemoaning the fact that he's not part of the orbit, or
Yeah.
he's essentially trying to create his own orbit and failing to, because
Yeah.
that's what it's going on. That's the obsolescence that he's feeling.
Yeah.
All these things don't arise until the conversation begins, which is
Sure.
why the movie doesn't become the great movie that I expect Linklater's conversational pieces to usually be, which is why my fandom of the Before Sunrise trilogy still exists, because those movies are so good at that.
Yeah.
This just misses it.
Sure.
It's just misses it.
Fair, fair,
But
fair, fair point.
I have something to add here. Like,
Hmm.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
talking about Nouvelle Vague earlier, right? I think these
Hmm.
are like double features. Like, Nouvelle
Hmm.
Vague is essentially like it's the same thing. It's like
Hmm.
a artist who does not know who he is, right? It's
Yeah.
like he's throwing tantrums. He he believes that whatever he says is right. He does not
Hmm.
understand what other people are saying. It's
Hmm.
Lawrence Hart is also going the same thing because he believes he is right. He has
Yeah.
ideas. It's not as if he's washed away. He has pitching new things to his partner, but it's just that it's obsolete to the partner. We don't
No,
know
Yeah.
if
yeah,
it will
but
work out
because the art
because
world
he's
is
stuck in
moving
another
away.
mindset.
Yeah, yeah, the
Haha,
art world is moving
Moving
it's
away.
away.
a
Yeah.
nice sorry,
So
just
it's like an interesting double bill.
and it's
Yeah.
also at least
Sure.
in Blue Moon, it's a good sort of
It,
like his art, which he consistently describes as not being, for easy consumption in many ways,
Yeah.
like Lawrence
Yeah. Yeah.
Hart, is also a good,
Yeah.
nice sort of way, I suppose, in which
it's an
Linklater's
indication
kind
about the
of
world in general. It's an
yeah, in
indication about the
Linklater's
art in
art also,
general.
I think it is also there in Inside
No.
Llewyn Davis. So it's like one of those things where it feels like the director is also commenting about their departure from the mainstream in a way which they find very different.
The fact that there is a
Yeah.
clear pointed statement, right, like from Rogers, that don't satirize
Yeah.
don't satirize too much, people just
Hmm.
want sincerity.
Yeah.
It's like this is legitimately every form of criticism. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm so sorry, Sanjeet. This is essentially any form of criticism that is usually given to blockbuster entertainment like the MCU. We don't need more satire. Put sincerity. That's it's again, it's like it's like it's interesting how much cyclical the consumption of art by audience actually is, that at one point we need
Yeah.
satire, at one point we need subversion, at one point we need to push back against art, and
वो
at what point we
economics
need,
है सर वो तो पूरा
yeah,
I
supply
essentially,
think,
demand
yeah,
वाला
more a question of
yeah,
uh, people saying this, no, audiences
थक
want
गए
to watch something.
audience is thug
The
guy,
thing
yeah,
is that art is always individualistic expression.
yeah,
Yeah.
People who are not doing it that way, and you've got enough filmmakers who don't do it that way, right? One of whom may have made this film called The Running Man. Unfortunately, it's made by an actual filmmaker. So the thing is that when that jostling happens, you're constantly commenting on intention.
yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, the audience will never
Yeah.
know what the intention was, and the artist, if they are not able
Yeah.
to replicate their intention in the true, product that they end up with in the artistic piece, they will seek refuge of intention. Oh, but my intention was this,
Yeah,
and
that's a
I never.
self-protective, that's a
Yeah.
protective
Yeah,
mechanism, right? That's
No, but
it's
essentially,
it's
like a bloody
also a matter
ballistic
of
shield.
like how willing are you to compromise? Like
yeah.
that's the
Yeah,
question
yeah,
that Lawrence Hart is facing. Will
Hmm.
you be able to be like, will you be able to retain the mainstream flavor that you had, or have you transcended that and he's just moved away because he thinks that he's beyond that, he's above that now.
Yeah.
So that's why coupled with the novel work, because Godard is also same thing. He's like, I won't do the existing thing. I don't want to give people what they want. I'm going to make something and they're going to consume it.
Mhm.
So this like that's like a beginning. This is like a capstone to your career. So I know why
Also,
Sure.
Linklater's like these are back-to-back projects. So it's
Mm.
fascinating to see
also
why he's like,
interesting
a
that in
beginning of
both
a
of these
creative career and
cases,
end of career. Yeah,
interesting that
parallel
in
with it.
both
Yeah.
of these cases, interesting that in
Mm.
both of these movies, history
Yeah.
becomes the ultimate defining factor, right?
Yep.
Factor.
For
Yeah.
good art, history proved him right. For
Mm.
art, history
Right.
proved him
And
wrong.
proved him wrong. So yeah,
Yep.
that parallel is also there. So it's all about the artistic integrity and failure of some artists to see like time like it's same thing again, time passing them by.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I think
like art
uh,
passes you by. You can't just
Of course.
sit there and be like let it come to me. That does
Mhm.
not work like
hmm.
that. So so this is like a artist literally wallowing in
No,
self-pity,
doesn't he say something like
trying
that?
to make
Art
sense.
waits for you. At least he believes that, or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
same,
I
but
think
yeah. It's
artistic
like
integrity that is one thing,
hmm.
but somewhere that the artist has to compromise because the artist is almost always never paying for the stuff
Yeah,
they need
yeah,
to
yeah,
Yeah.
do.
yeah.
Right? There's always some patron or some
No,
financier
I
or
mean,
some
some
kind.
people work in the shadows. They fund
Yeah,
their
yeah,
own
of
He's
course,
thing.
but
part of a
like
bigger
I'm talking
system.
about
He's
big,
like a
larger
solid
art.
system.
Sure.
You
Sure.
can't
Yeah,
make
yeah,
a
Mm.
blockbuster
Of
independently unless
course. Of course.
uh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
suddenly.
like in the world of the movie and in history in general, the
Mm.
fact that Hart's like derision towards
Mm.
Oklahoma makes sense because Oklahoma
Mm.
was a massive blockbuster. Like even
Mhm.
noobs
yeah.
like us
Hmm.
who don't live in America kind of sort of know about it from
Mhm.
ancillary
Not
signals.
yeah. Not to bring Oppenheimer again. There's a dialogue in Oppenheimer where like what's her name? Florence Pugh's character tells
Mm.
Oppenheimer like don't alienate the people who know what to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if that happens, then you're done. Because they are like what Varun was saying, the patrons. Lawrence
Yeah.
starts in a journey to he's alienating even his patrons and who the partner who we work with. Even
Mm.
he's not understanding what he's saying now because
Yeah.
he has like transcended that basic level of like
Mhm.
acceptability, mainstream or artistic integrity or whatever. Because he
Mhm.
Or
has
just
reached
general,
another level.
he
Yeah, he's
miss. Sorry,
yeah.
Arjun. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go
Finish.
on. Go on. So he's reached a point where he's like, this is like an artist like self-constructing. Like
Mhm.
he's
Hmm.
destructing on the go. This is like a person like, this is his last chance. If he just gets on that staircase, goes to
Mm.
the partner, agrees to do whatever he does, he'll have a good career. But
Yeah.
he chooses not to do that because it's like this physical thing. The film like is like, the lower half heart stays and the upper half, the good society is making art still. They're
Yeah.
progressing with art but he's not
Mm.
able to make that journey to the upper
Ah, he can't go upstairs. Yeah,
level or
that's true.
whatever.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's a
think
way to look at the film. I don't know if it's a
Mhm.
I think in
Linklater
one
thought
way
of
what
that
he
way.
Mm.
confuses. I'm sorry, Arjun. I
No,
realize I
sorry,
cut you off.
go ahead. That's it. That's
What he confuses his integrity with is his honesty. He thinks
Mm.
because he's honest about it, his integrity matters more.
Mm.
What he fails to factor in is that other people also have integrity, but they are
Mm.
willing to find a way to accommodate a broader
Yeah. Yeah.
sort of
yeah,
purpose.
Yeah.
exactly.
Like
I do
like the
really find
filmmakers,
no. I like
the
the
filmmakers
you
of
guys were saying about Andrew Scott's character, right? I like the last moment where he's basically like, "Where's your wife?" Where when
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
looks at Margaret Qualley, basically,
yeah,
so it's like,
she's
yeah,
at
he's got,
home.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I was reminded of, in fact, when they're talking about the war,
Yeah.
because this is what's supposed to be March of
Hmm.
43,
Yeah, March
was
of 43.
not
Mm.
particularly going well for the Allies,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and they had these 5 6 odd filmmakers from Hollywood who were out with very famously, of course, John Ford
Mhm.
was at Midway
Mhm.
in mid 42
Mhm.
shooting footage for
Mm-hmm.
American propaganda films, right?
Mhm.
And they're all sort of subjects of Five Came Back, which is the Lawrence Boudreaux,
Frank
Mark
Capra,
Harris,
George Stevens,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
all those
Mm-hmm.
guys. So they all understood that their art was being used for a certain purpose,
Yeah.
but they had also found a way to make their art within that confine
Yeah. I mean,
because
Powell
they
and
realized that there was
Pressburger
a
in there
no,
in
because
UK.
there were yeah, Powell and Pressburger more immediately because the
Mhm.
Isles could actually be threatened. Like if
Yeah.
you go down to Dover, you can literally see France on a scale,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right?
They are
I
in the
mean,
crucible of the goddamn
I think
war.
we'd gone down in March or something, and we
Mm.
literally, our professor was like, "Hey, you guys see that bit of the shoreline?" You're like, "Yeah."
Mm.
Like, that's France. That's literally right there, 20 twenty
Mm.
five miles.
Yeah.
So, Paul and Pressburger, for that matter,
Mm.
right? The thing is that they found a way to do both. Their propaganda was still artistic, but it was propaganda. Just as
Yeah.
I wouldn't equate them with Leni Riefenstahl because her propaganda was driven to a completely different point.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
arriving
I
at a
mean,
completely different
That was
objective.
arriving in a narrative, so
You know,
that's what
Powell
it
and
is. It's like,
Pressburger made films
yeah,
which allowed for the propaganda to have other openings or like other meanings
Yeah.
in it. Like you can find them. They are not like, you know.
Like different pockets, right? Like, there are
Yeah.
pockets
yeah.
of meanings within.
Yeah,
I mean, technically,
you just
Blimp
have to
is a
watch.
propaganda film.
Yeah, Blimp is a
Right.
propaganda film with one of the most sympathetic German characters at that time, right?
Exactly.
So
So
yeah,
you find a way to, and recently a British academic, I think, has written a book called "Don't Let's Hate the Germans," which is an account of Britain's post-war occupation of Germany. For anybody who's not well versed, the Allies occupied, and the Allies, beg your pardon, and the Russians jointly occupied Germany after the war ended. So the British disseminated this whole thing of let's not just start hating them because and it's something about modern geopolitics people don't understand. They're like, oh, we'll go and capture that part of that country, and like, what are you going to do with those people?
धुरंधर बनना
So
है ना सर सबको.
क्यों इस मूवी को ला रहे हैं सब?
Yeah, Dhurandhar is making its appearance, like Oppenheimer,
Yeah.
like,
This
coming
is
back.
this is the animal scenario essentially, where every
Oh,
episode will
Amartya,
have.
you remember? No. You remember during Animal, Amartya spoke during the podcast and he was like, I'm never mentioning Animal again. Next 10 episodes, Amartya has found a way to bring in Animal at least once. At least once.
Let's come back to Blue Moon.
Yeah, let's come back to
Away.
Blue Animal. I mean, he's his own sort of animal, I suppose, but
He's
not
also
in-
wearing a blue suit like Ranbir in that movie.
Yeah.
At different
Yeah,
points,
yeah,
I
of
think.
course. क्योंकि अब एनिमल के साथ तो कंपेयर करना है, why not?
I'm going to move. We're going to swiftly move on. So, any final thoughts on Blue Moon, guys?
No,
Which
really good
is one of
movie.
my favorites of the year, at least. Actually,
It's a film I
Yeah.
dislike. I do think Hawke's performance is something
He
worth
will probably
watching
will
because
shoe
he's-
in for a nomination.
Nomination certainly.
I don't.
Nomination certainly.
I don't
Nomination,
know.
not win.
Nomination maybe. Yeah,
Nomination में
maybe.
और है कौन?
बहुत
know,
है हमारे
outside-
टीमी साहब है टीमी
Timmy C
Arre,
तो
but there are
है
5 nominations, no? So
Uh-huh.
Timmy, Leo, Wagner
Leo's
Moura,
gonna get nominated.
I think so.
Of course
Wagner
he's not
Moura,
getting nominated. Why not?
this guy,
Michael B.
Ethan
Jordan का तो
Hawke.
कोई है नहीं.
Michael B.
Again.
Jordan's not getting nominated.
Yeah.
No, he's
It's not a very good. It's not a sensational performance.
Yeah,
It's
he's
like a
not the
genre
also.
performance
He
too.
doesn't stand out. I think in the ensemble.
No,
also.
it's more Delroy Lindo or who's the actor that played Pastor Boy,
Yeah, he was good.
The debutant.
Forget
I
the name.
forgot his name.
Miles
Miles Catton.
Miles
Miles.
Cameron.
He'll be there, yeah, for supporting.
Or
though,
even
not
even
for-
some of the actresses who were in
Yeah,
Civil,
yeah,
but Jordan's not getting nominated.
No,
He
no.
तो but है ही कौन?
No, in Leeds. No, in Leeds, I think outside chance of walking, maybe, I don't know. But
No way,
Leo
for
is
Eddington?
getting. Yeah, Leo is
He's
getting
also
100%
lost. He's
nominated.
also lost a certain amount of credibility
Wagner
in
Moura
the
too
industry
might be.
after that Todd Haynes film fell on its
Sir,
ass.
he's lost
Oh, I
credibility with us, not
Oh,
with
I thought
anyone
Joker
else.
Folia Due was enough, but
No,
sure.
no. But like when your peers are voting for you, they're also voting for you based on your likability. as a
Eddington is
person.
too divisive, Amartya. There's no way he's getting nominated.
So,
Also, it released too early.
So Leo is 100% getting nominated.
Okay.
I think.
Timmy C, Leo,
C, of
Ethan
course,
Hawke. Then what else? I don't even know
Wagner
if five
Moura
will
is
fill
there.
this.
Wagner Moura for Secret Agent. I'm pretty sure he's getting
I'm
nominated.
flying the
Please,
flag
please,
for that.
please,
Yeah, actually,
Seen
he's
the piece.
sensational in that. Yeah.
I don't think
sensational
Leo.
movie.
I think this might actually be Hawke might be in with an outside chance to win. He's
Yeah,
not one
because
in
he's
that
he's
Leo.
got the winning for everything
whole-
he's done sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
that
a good
also.
enough performance. Right?
He
It's
didn't
not
get
like they're
nominated for
up-
First Reformed, which is a crime in itself. So it's one of those
Yeah.
things. So
But
But this
again, we are
performance can
discussing
accommodate
Oscars.
that.
Oscars.
because this is not a substitute, but this will include some of that nonsense also, which we will do
This is
later.
this is a very best actor performance for the Oscars.
Yeah,
is.
Right?
it's a showy
Yeah,
part.
it is a
Yeah.
showy
So it's meant
performance.
to get
Absolutely.
a award.
Which I
It's
think
a
even is
different
Sean, which
it's
I
a
think Sean
different
Combs is
argument that the
also.
movie is not. It's a different argument that the movie is also good. In most of these best actor,
Sure.
best actress
Yes,
cases,
they are
the movie.
actor
So
showcases for me,
most-
but you
most
don't
of
like
these
it. But yeah.
movies right now currently have good movie cred. I may not agree that Blue Moon is a good movie, but people have liked it. Critics have liked it.
Yeah,
Marty
yeah.
Supreme.
No,
people
sir,
have liked it. Critics have liked it.
I
One
know,
battle,
but
people,
what the
critics.
film we are talking about is something like The Eyes of Tammy Faye, like that
Yes.
sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Or you
Usually-
know,
Just
what is the
big,
name of
just
that? What is the name of that
Leslie,
Andrea
just a
Riseborough movie
To,
that came out?
to Leslie, which I
Oh,
saw
yeah,
on a
Jesus
plane,
Christ.
just
Oh, yeah.
because nomination completionist. My ass. Fucking hell, it was so bad.
Dhruv calls me this completionist junkie,
I used
which
to
he
do it. I don't
has.
do it now.
But Oscars season, Dhruv has watched everything that
I
ever
used
got
to do it.
mentioned in
Yeah,
Oscar.
I used to do it. It's always fun to see the shorts.
Then both me and Varun essentially ate his brain after a point. We are like, fuck this.
Because the podcast was getting
no,
interminable.
I
Yeah.
used to do completionist and then not watch the Oscar ceremony. So that which is another different sort of thing. But
He's
anyways,
like,
we are not
मैंने सब कुछ देख लिया as a form of protest. मैं ceremony नहीं
ceremony नहीं देखूंगा. But anyways, we shall move on to a film.
By the way, just speaking for that, 2029 the Oscars are moving to YouTube. I'm like, thank God, now I can just comment live. Fuck you
Comment.
all.
I expect you to steal their stream and be there, live reacting. Jabby
Live
Koe ka
reacting.
Bengali bhai.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, we shall move on to the film which will not get any Oscar buzz, and it was surprisingly a box office disappointment. It should not be. It's one of
Which
those
one?
films. This
Oh,
is
you mean
Roofman
Roofman?
by Derek Cianfrance.
It's been 6 months and still no leads on the whereabouts of the escaped convict known as the Roofman.
It's Cianfrance, right? I'm not butchering his name.
Cianfrance, yeah.
Okay.
Surprisingly, I did not expect to like it this much.
Same.
That's
I
a good
was.
movie. Yeah, fun film.
I am
actually.
very
From
surprised.
there.
I liked
So
it
it's an
as much as I
expensive
did.
movie, by the way. It's
How much is
not
it?
Like, it's made for $19 million.
19.
Yeah.
How much did it make? Like 10.
32.
Oh, it made 32 as a sort of overall thingy. Okay. Yeah, this seems like it would be cheaper to
If you
make.
Hollywood mein you make a rule of thirds, right? So it would have to come up to about 60
No,
million
it
to
didn't.
break
It
even.
didn't do well. It didn't do well.
Yeah, it
basically.
made about
Yeah.
half of that break even cut.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's written by Cianfrance and Kurt Gunn. It
Yeah.
stars Channing Tatum, Kirsten Dunst, Peter Dinklage, Lakeith Stanfield, and
Ben Mendelsohn.
Ben Mendelsohn,
Juno Temple.
Juno Temple. Yeah. Good, like diverse cast in terms of like the actors who are there, and then the premise again. My thing. This isn't funny. I don't think so. But anyways, man tries to buy his way into happiness only to repeatedly have reality kick him in the face. Is that fine?
Life.
Very
So I
vague,
just
but
I just
yeah.
want to bring up the budget once. So in the last maybe 3 years, but especially this year and last year. So I'm not suggesting that this has anything to do with the American presidential election. And I mean that genuinely. I think just the state of the international
sure about
economy
that?
has been. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You can blame Trump for millions of things, okay? And you
But not
should.
this. But
But
not this.
this is part of a trend wherein you're like, okay, a one battle costs what it lands between 157 and 175 million because the director's like, I've basically got a blank check, so even though I've done a schedule, I want to shoot the entire thing again. And I
Yeah.
have the money, so why not do it? So what if the footage is already great? So you go and do that. So there's a certain amount of lack of discipline as well. Moreover, the thing is it's just too expensive to film now.
Yeah.
You're just having to.
No,
you
but
could
come
have made
on,
a
you can
Roofman for 10
you
million.
can make it
No,
cheaper.
but
It's not like you can't.
I think
You
I
find
think
it
the
very
main,
difficult to
I think
stack
the
it with
main
the
issue,
cast it has today.
no, I think the main
Unless
issue is,
everybody takes a back end.
yeah, I think the main issue is that the precedent it had already been set by the movies which have been uberly successful at least 2 or 3 years back. I think that precedent is what is driving these things now.
No.
I think
Economically, also there are
Yeah.
problems. Every basic resources are expensive, but it's also a question of like the streamers coming in, right?
yeah.
But one of the reasons I really sort of hated DiCaprio for the finances of Killers of the Flower Moon is because when he realized Apple was going to write him whatever check he wanted, he asked for 40 million and he got 40 million. So when you front load a movie like that, your entire economics gets, pushed out of whack. And then you're suddenly on edge. Like, how is this going to pick up financing from? And mind you, that was Scorsese coming off of Netflix's biggest financial flop. Netflix may not exist to make money in theaters, but Irishman did not get it enough subscribers to break even.
Yeah. No, that is 100% true. Yeah. That is 100%
So
true.
some basic economic flaw is there
True.
even in the
This indie
creative and
space.
No, but
and
even if
and
but
the
if
very
you tell
sort of
these
powerful
but
people, if you
Yeah.
tell
And
Leo,
their aim is
what are you going to
different,
do with
right?
40
Like,
million?
yeah. They're not
Like,
trying to make money with the Irishman or Killers of Love.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
They're
but
just
but
prestige is the keyword there, right?
But Arjun, even if you're not trying to make money on a Killers of the Flower Moon,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
doesn't
not a movie
some
that
part
will
of
make money, but
but it
anyways.
made good money. If I believe if Leo and De Niro were to charge 10 million instead of 40 million, which they can live
De Niro
with.
charged 40 million. No
De
ways.
Niro would have charged
No, no.
20. Chalo.
Okay.
You
Sir,
can
dirty
still
grandpa
reduce
kiya hai
your
bande ne. He can charge anything. Just chill maro
yeah.
aap.
You
Yeah.
can reduce your financial burden significantly
Of course.
because all that money can be spent on the film.
Also,
if
you
it needs to
cannot
be
work
spent.
with Leo. That's other thing. But ठीक है.
No, I mean,
No,
the
that's
whole
not
package
it.
is what got the money, right? I mean, do you think
Yeah,
that
Sure.
he's
yeah.
going to throw
I
money
mean,
if
Leo is the reason. Leo is the reason. Goddamn, Heat 2 is being made. So
no,
you can understand. Yeah.
Imagine if Scorsese had gone and said, "Okay, I found this new actor. His name is Dhruv.
Not
He lives in
new.
Dubai." You think Apple would have been like, "ये लो 200 million जाओ बनाओ picture." ऐसे नहीं होता है ना.
अब मेरे ऊपर नहीं लगाएगा ना सर कोई 200 मिलियन, बट किसी और के ऊपर
चलो,
लगा सकता है.
Joaquin with how
Yeah.
unstable he is.
Fun movie. He's come on, Bharat. You can't just.
Unforgivable.
You have very okay, fine.
He wrote those damn scenes and then he's like, I don't want to do them.
He must have had some issue. What else? He's a good. Anyways, can we move on to discuss Roofman because we have
Yeah.
other films also to discuss after that.
Yeah.
But
No,
anyways,
I think with Cianfrance, one of the reasons why I am very hesitant to watch his movies, which is one of the reasons why I have never completed any of his movies. It's a weird
oh
thing.
really? You've
Yeah,
not
I've
watched
never-
completed Blue Valentine or?
No, I've
I've
never
never
completed
watched that because everybody tells me it's such an intense film.
I've
It
never
is.
I've never completed any of his movies because I always felt that his movies, like, it's not his quote unquote fault. I don't think it's even his intention to be ponderous, but it's like it's always very serious. It's always
Oh,
very
it's
like,
capital S serious. Like it's
yeah,
just
it's very
like-
serious. It's very
Yeah.
intense, and sometimes that intensity doesn't, like, it's based on the time and everything. What made Roofman so delightful is the fact that it is so light, and so when
Yeah.
the depths come, when the emotional depths come, they hit you like a gut punch.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
really like
it's definitely a different thing for him though, because I don't think he's
Yeah, yeah.
operated in this lighter register
No,
before.
I don't think.
He's done
no.
Blue Valentine, he's
sadism
done The
is still
Place
there,
Beyond the
right?
Pines, right?
No, sadness is there, but it's not like, like it's not like you're drowning in misery, which is there in
Misery,
like
yeah.
most of his films, which
It's a lighter movie in that.
yeah, films and shows even. What is that? I know this much is true.
I
is
know
like,
this much to be true. Yeah.
Okay, that I watched till the third episode. I was like, my God, this is gonna get worse. Like in terms of the stuff that's being thrown
Imagine
upon
that's
its
Dhruv saying
protagonist.
that.
Imagine
I
you
don't-
saying that. Yeah.
I don't like miserabilism in films, though. I don't get what this reputation is. Anyways,
Sir,
It's
you
the
like-
same as your reputation of me not liking anything.
Sir,
yeah, you
it's
don't like anything.
like, sir, it's like you loving slow cinema has already given a reputation. Oh, Dhruv likes ponderous nightmares.
Ponderous is good, but not. It's not.
इसको
No,
इसको दिखाना चाहिए संगम.
shut up. No, Roofman is not. So the thing is, with Roofman, it's got that. And I don't know.
It's a mid 2000s genre movie. That's
Yeah.
what it is. It is exactly
Yeah.
the
And
kind of
exactly
movie
that's what
Soderbergh
I
would
said.
make.
Exactly that's what I said even in
He
my
doesn't
review
want to be
also.
anything else too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
satisfied with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Its
and it's like
ambitions are perfectly stated.
yeah, and it's like people don't make these movies nowadays, which is just sad.
It's
Yeah.
not just a question of you don't make these movies. This is the kind of movie that is not cinematic, right? Like
I don't know what that even qualifies nowadays. Like,
you
how
know that
do you
that's
not
the problem with social media having decided that cinematic means Nolan is saying 70 film pe dekhna. But it
Yeah.
is not that. We went to the cinema for everything.
Yeah.
Okay, ठीक है, we are all part of the satellite generation. But satellite also movies used to come after 3 months, 6 months.
yeah.
So if you wanted to watch a movie, you went to the bloody hall and
No,
watched it.
but with something
and
like Roofman,
qualitatively with Roofman, cinematic आप कैसे नहीं कर सकते हो? There is a long ass tracking shot of an over the shoulder का camera work of him going to bathrooms. Like, और क्या
Sir,
cinematic चाहिए
that
तुम लोगों को?
I didn't watch it in the cinema because like there were no shows available by
Yeah.
the time I got to it.
I was
That scene
actively
of
put
him
off.
trying to escape the dink from when
Yep.
he's had a shower
Yeah.
Huh.
is I can imagine the kind of laughs it
Yeah,
would-
in the
and
theater.
people talk about cinema being a communal
Communal
experience, right? I'm like, then what is the problem in a big laugh sequence
No, there
as
isn't.
part of the communal experience, right?
Yeah.
Because that cinema is about different kinds of things. You can't say that just because there's no action, there is no sort of,
Of course not.
false
Yeah.
Rather than
runners,
like
which I am
And
fucking
it,
fed up of.
and no, but also this doesn't feel quote unquote uncinematic. It feels very much like you
Yeah,
can
like it's imagined with it's given it some
yeah,
scale and some space. He's using that Toys R Us store
yeah, very
as
well.
Yup.
a
Yup.
proper location, like as
Yeah.
to
location, yeah.
he's shooting outdoors or whatever.
Yeah.
Again, like
So
I say with every
basically,
movie nowadays, and I can't believe I have to say this with every movie nowadays. Oh my god, there is blocking and framing in this movie.
Yeah, because there's
yeah,
editing which doesn't, feel the
Yeah.
need to just rush through stuff. It's like it's done very
yeah,
well. Like, and I guess for me, the biggest appeal of it is that it has that appearance of something which is slightly bright, but has a sort of very underlying sort of sadness to it throughout. I
yeah,
don't think it ever the danger of not it never commits to that whimsy in a way where I was like, oh god, isn't it a little too whimsical for a film which is about someone committing these crimes? I was like, the Kirsten Dunst performance to me is like amazing. Like I think that's like the great grounding presence in
Like
this
one
film.
criticism I saw in Letterboxd of all places is the fact that somebody is saying that Kirsten Dunst is acting in an entirely different prestige movie and acting circles around everybody else. I'm like,
No.
that's not entirely true. I
Again,
agree
this
that
whole
Kirsten
idea
Dunst
that a genre film cannot have good acting is a
that is
very
also sad.
now idea.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
also sad.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, she's
But he
acting
doesn't
in a
have to be
way
fucking
which
Glenn
This is
Powell.
pretty much competent work that she's doing for a picture, like, off
yeah.
the screen and for
Yeah, yeah,
interesting
yeah.
Like
It's a
visuals.
like we
character
know
and the
like we know
treatment
what
also.
Even
Kirsten Dunst
Tatum
is
is good.
capable of.
He's
We know
also
what
doing
she
good
is
job.
capable. Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
know
It's
what she is
just
capable of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but this is like one of those roles which, if you don't, it can be cutesy if you do it a little with
Exactly.
too much
yeah.
quirk, with too much quirk, or
There
it
is
could be too
there is an
serious.
honesty to this. There is
Yeah,
an
yeah, yeah.
honesty to that
Yeah.
performance that
She's
you don't
taking it
Yeah.
seriously. That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
thing.
She's taking it seriously, but she knows when to like. She's never like pushing the seriousness also
Yeah.
in a way which
Yeah.
she will do in like other films which require that, but not here.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think that's the
The person who actually surprised me is Channing Tatum.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
very
he's
He's
very
good.
done
good.
this before.
Hmm?
He's done this character before. So
Magic Mike
to me, it wasn't a
something.
surprise. No,
Magic
Logan
Mike?
Lucky.
Logan Lucky.
Logan
He's
Lucky.
played a dad who wants to
Logan
provide
Lucky.
for a
Okay, okay.
child. There's
Sure.
that
Yeah.
sort of push-pull happening with the co-parent,
Sure.
Which
played
is
by
why you
Katie
said that
Holmes in that
Soderbergh
film.
would make a movie like this in the
But
2000s.
no, but Soderbergh would also do the small scale. I mean, Soderbergh did a small scale movie just now. He did
Yes.
Black Bag.
Sir, I'm
Of course, it
sorry.
was not
Soderbergh
small.
makes a movie her 4
Every
months.
year,
Okay, so
yeah.
yeah.
No, but like his
Soderbergh would
again.
make it a bit more slicker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll
But I
and
think
more
Yeah,
attuned
he's
to
not
the
so.
actual Roofman
Firstly,
antics, probably.
Yeah.
firstly, and also he would make in 90 minutes. But he can.
Yes.
Yeah, that he'll be
This is
shorter. He
this
will
is
not go for
this
the
this
dense.
this can lose 15 minutes in my opinion. But anyway, I saw 2 hours 5 minutes and I was like,
Yeah, I mean, but
why?
it would be a bit of a negotiation only to find those 15 minutes
Yeah.
and lock
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Sure,
the intimate
Because
moments land well, so there's no
sure.
need to cut off those
The
two.
only
Yeah,
only
it works as well.
only element which I was like, it had a setup, but I didn't think the payoff was particularly strong was with the other guy working at Toys R Us.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that friend.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
friend
I mean,
who's
the whole
made fun of
Peter
by Peter
Dinklage,
Dinklage.
yeah,
Peter Dinklage
the
was
whole
very
that
funny.
villain arc didn't work for me.
Okay,
No,
I
it
don't
I
know
found
why
Peter
it's there.
Dinklage quite funny.
That
Oh,
is
he
very
was,
broadly
but
drawn. Yeah.
that's like saying
That's
a
like saying,
character is valuable because it's played well. I'm saying
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
questioning the value of the
The
character itself.
character
Character
itself.
itself.
Okay,
Yeah,
got
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Got it. Got it.
But no, I said Soderbergh also because Soderbergh used to do these almost stripped down films for the longest time. He's done the big budget stuff,
yeah,
but
yeah.
he's never been tentpole blockbuster maker
Sure.
ever. Even an Ocean's film is relatively inexpensive
Re-
to put together in terms of the physical production. Of course, you're paying a hefty amount of money to Clooney and Pitt and Damon and all those guys to get them on board. But
Yeah.
I mean, he just made Black Bag also,
Yeah.
right? Which is
Yeah.
again
A
pretty
budgeted.
expensive movie. No, very expensive movie.
Yeah, budgeted badly. I meant that
Yeah,
only, like continuing
I was
that
like, dude,
trend.
you're shooting in places I walk in. I'm not saying it's cheap because I walk there. I'm saying how expensive can it be
मतलब
to
आपका
take one
मतलब
shot?
आपका worthiness कहाँ नीचे जा चुका है according
No, he literally shot in the
I
park
have a
next to where
huge
I
issue
lived
with how he shot that film. I can't.
with black
The
back.
lighting in that film drove me nuts. Like
It's so different
how
every 2
blown
minutes.
out
Oh,
everything
yeah.
is just got to
It is
my
blown out, yeah.
especially in the
But
dinner scenes.
rather
I
that
was just
than
like,
presence, right?
Oh God.
Presence, I think, is
Absolutely.
very well shot. I don't think
It's
it's
very well
well.
It's very
shot.
It's
futile.
horribly
Like,
written. That's a different
It's a
thing.
dog shit
it's a
movie, but that's a
pointless
separate
film,
argument.
in my opinion.
No, it's a
Yeah.
horribly written film. That's a
Yeah.
it's a decent filmaking experiment. Like in
An
terms of
exercise in
yeah.
Yeah, he
filmmaking,
keeps
yeah.
doing experiments
Yeah,
only,
yeah.
no?
So ठीक है
One
ना, करने
experiment,
दो.
one movie, one experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
करने
no.
दो, अच्छा है.
So
To
does
which
also.
I would also like to say, speaking क्योंकि वरुण कह रहा था कि he has not done a tentpole blockbuster. I'm just shocked at what we hadn't, what we didn't get, which was essentially like, you know, this news, right, Doof? He
What?
was supposed to do a Star Wars movie with Adam Driver, which was
Adam
basically Star Wars: The Return of Kylo Ren. Okay, Adam Driver
Wow.
and him were Adam Driver was co-writing it, and he was supposed to direct it. Then Bob Iger, of all people, Bob Iger said Kylo Ren died. How is he going to return? Scrap. I am like, you guys return Palpatine. What the fuck are you doing?
No, and this is a fantasy film. Like, what the
I just returned somehow he returned. That
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't
हमारे
know,
soap opera में आ जाती है ना. Soap opera is like set in some
Arey,
Haveli
just
in
make it a
Bombay.
multiverse. How does it matter? How does it any case?
No, but Star Wars have done this. They've not given.
So Star
Tarantino
Wars has
wanted
done
to do it.
everything.
Sir, Star Wars has done
Fincher wanted to
everything.
do one.
Star Wars ने इतना सब कुछ कर दिया है. They've also made a good TV show at this point. They have nothing left to prove anymore at this
yeah.
point.
And
बंद
Except
कर
hire
दो
a good
थोड़े
director.
दिन के लिए.
Yeah.
No, hey,
Anyway, back
J.J.
to
Abrams
Roofman.
is good, but yes,
No, or rather,
Roofman.
hire the directors that
Roofman,
want to
Roofman.
work with you.
Good, Arjun,
Yeah,
I love you for
Roofman
this,
for-
but yes, Roofman.
No, but I was bringing up क्योंकि Steven Soderbergh का मतलब budgeting thing we were talking
Sure,
about.
sure.
My thing about a guy like Cianfrance is the fact that this is a guy who seems to me that he knows exactly how to balance the tonalities, because
Yeah.
it's like I think your favorite film critic said this, by the way, Mikhail. I think Mikhail said this. Like, there are pockets of emotionality, okay, within moments of lightness, with which like hits you. I am reminded of all those scenes that he shares with Lucky Stanfield.
Yeah.
Like, those scenes in isolation would seem like those are really the deadpan scenes that you would see in any sort of other American commercial movie, but
Yeah.
they carry between them a feeling of earnestness.
Yeah.
You know,
Even
like there is
Juno
an
Temple just shows up, and I was like, such an unassuming role. Like, it's not even
unassuming
like.
role, yeah.
I'm like, she
That's what
fits
great
the
actors do.
milieu
They're just
But they are also,
perfectly
but they are so earnestly playing
Yeah.
those bit parts that you are carried over by the emotions itself.
Yeah.
And of course, like I said, I really love Channing Tatum in this because he's so good at, like,
Yeah.
even understatingly, he's playing this role.
Yeah. He
So
can
good at
he can
this.
do his charming shtick, but like he's also like very good with the whole, reserved,
Yeah.
Laying
levels
low.
of sadness he
I
has.
also really like the supporting cast, especially the elder daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kirsten Dunst's elder daughter. She was
I'm
good.
not sure Ben Mendelsohn's inclusion made sense to me in terms of his casting.
I
as
legitimately
it was more a
thought
distraction.
for a second I was like, why is Ben Mendelsohn playing a good guy?
Yeah, I
Like,
thought you'd have
Not,
some other
not
role to
that.
play.
I
in the
thought he's
story,
going to
but
turn
then
out to
he
be
just
like
didn't.
some, he's a church-going cop.
Yeah.
Sir,
Like
come
that
on,
kind of thing.
give
Who will bust his
Cianfrance
ass.
credit.
Yeah.
No, but I was like, you take that role and you give it to a Ben Mendelsohn, who's a fairly recognizable face to anybody who watches.
He must have just come to enjoy it. He must
Ah,
have,
he may have just heard
So
like
for that,
there
you
is food or
need to come
something,
to a direct
like Channing Tatum.
Cianfrance set to enjoy.
he thought that he was first time trying to enjoy life, I suppose. So he joined
Right.
in.
So, for my question to you all is like, is
Hmm.
this film about a guy who's like trying to be a good guy, but that attempt is like his downfall? Because every time he does something good, it like
I think
ends
it's
up being,
one. I think it's one
his
of those
downfall.
cases.
It's
I
like
think
काम
it's one.
करने जाता हूँ कांड हो जाता है.
Can't हो
Yeah,
जाता है.
that's
No, but I
That's
think his
literally the theme of the film.
Yeah,
his
yeah.
conception of goodness is also very skewed. Like he
Yeah.
believes that he can buy whenever he buys things, he can make the people he has in life very happy. It's and
Yeah.
I
Didn't
think
somebody say this in the group itself?
No,
It's like
but in
capitalism,
the
essentially.
woman.
yeah, in the
it
first
is
scene,
it
right?
is
In the first heist, right? He gives the jacket to this employee
yeah,
who is
he's a
robbing the
nice
pickup.
guy, which is what I think
That
Lakeith
leads to him
Stanfield
being
says. No,
captured.
Yeah,
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 That
yeah.
leads to him being captured. So at the end, his decision to come back to this woman that he's seeing, it's like
yeah,
heat, right? Neil
Yeah.
yeah,
McCauley. It's like the impulse to
It's
finally tie
very.
everything up.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But in
I
this
think
case,
that's
it's
the
more
theme of the film.
sentimentally good,
Yeah.
not like
Yeah,
More
unlike
twisting one, yeah.
Unlike Neil
uh,
McCauley, this guy could not spot the heat around the corner.
Neil McCauley also knew उसका the Hindi saying for Neil McCauley would be गांड फटे तो फटे नवाबी ना घटे. That's why he went there and tried to fuck
Yeah.
with Pacino. Okay. Let's not get into how
So that is
sensible
the
McCauley
thematic,
is.
yeah,
so
thematic,
yeah,
statement
you
of
should watch
Roofman.
Roofman and then watch Heat.
Heat.
Or
No,
So that's what the film is trying to say.
for me, what the value of Roofman was, because I related a lot
you
to
watched
Jeffrey
first. You watched
Manchester's.
it
I
first, and
watched
you
it.
praised it, and I was like, Varun
I did.
praising a film.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I also praised Homebound just before that, and you were like, "ये
I
पागल
mean,
को
yeah,
यही पसंद
Varun,
नहीं
why is Varun praising this film? Was my reaction, but yeah.
था." Probably because I watched GoldenEye right after, so I was in a good mood.
Okay. No, go
So
ahead.
the
You were
thing
saying.
with the
Please continue,
Roofman
Roy.
for me was that I am also similar in that the people I'm supremely fond of in life, I keep buying them presents.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I don't know how else to say it, that, I'm here and I'm.
अच्छा, compliment देना नहीं आता.
No, I can give them
Acha.
compliments. I don't know how to say that I am here and,
Acha, okay.
if anything goes down, we'll sort it out and all that. So I'm like, oh, today is a good Monday. Here is some cake. It's really that
Sir,
random.
that's sociopathic. That's not a compliment. That's sociopathic.
No, sir. I don't show up to their house with a cake. I know what cake they like. I order it from a bakery they
Okay,
like.
okay.
It gets delivered to their home like a
And
आप
that's
normal-
अच्छे
not
आदमी हो
sociopathic?
ये बताने
No,
की
no,
कोशिश
no.
कर रहे हो.
I think to me what it's the difficulty in communicating sometimes.
Sure.
Which is what Jeffrey has a problem with.
Yeah.
And the fact that his child is disappointed when people say, oh,
Yeah.
when you say he's trying to buy his
No,
buy the happiness,
he's bought
he's
into it because
responding
everyone.
to it
Yeah,
because of that one instance where he gives his child
Yeah.
that and I was reminded of my childhood where a lot of it, I don't know if you guys had mechanics. It was not called
Yeah,
Meccano
I
in
did.
India
Yep,
because we had a non-copyright version in India. It was
Yeah.
called Mechanics.
Mechanics,
And you got
yeah.
like you could make. I
I mean,
never wanted to make anything with that.
The
I
Toys
was
R
just
Us
happy
setting makes a
fooling
lot
around.
of sense that way, no? Because it's
Exactly,
this whole
right?
idea
Because-
that if the idea for children also is that the way they are pleased is because when they get something material.
Something in return.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I think Kirsten Dunst at one point does.
I
That's
love
the
how
only time.
Dhruv has said children love something when they basically he's calling children materialistic.
No, but they
Yeah,
are
that's
trained to
a-
be that. Yeah, they are.
I think.
But she
I
tells
think,
him, right, there's no need
Yeah.
to buy stuff
buy stuff.
to
Yeah.
She
make
says
us,
only, at
Again,
one
just
point.
be
yeah.
yourself.
We
Something
want
that
you.
she's-
We don't want the
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, but
Yeah,
that's just
we want
difficult.
you,
So
not
I could
the-
empathize with him
So that's okay.
because you're like, oh, if I don't get this person something or the other, they'll feel
It's
like I don't pay attention.
you mean
I'm
the
not present.
transactional mindset. You mean the
Not
transactional.
transactional. Also, it's a way of just saying that I
I love
am
you.
paying attention. I am around. I am. I'm not oblivious. I'm not being a dude basically. Because
Also,
guys
he's
Or,
are
also
or a
really
quote unquote an
careless.
absentee dad, which absentee
Yeah,
dads
yeah.
usually do. Yeah.
Also, a way of the whole manhood angle of it also comes in, like the expectation. He's the man of the house essentially. Like
Yeah,
that's
and
what
he's a
the
man of the house
expectation is.
in
Provide.
mid 2000s America. So
Yeah.
you're not yet woke. You're not thinking of equal
Yeah.
Yep.
parenting almost in any way. And he's
He has to
Manchester's,
So
I think, born in the 50s or the 60s. So he's naturally a product of that era.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
fully.
so you'll say a sort of lovable asshole, or not even
Not
an
even an
asshole.
asshole. I
He's a
think he's
slob.
not asshole.
He's a slob. He's essentially a lovable loser slob kind of a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
not even
He's
loser.
someone who
I'd say
likes
he's
to gamble. That's it. With
he's
his
someone with
time
good
and-
intentions who has absolutely no interest in figuring out a way in which he could do things in a legal
Yeah.
Legal
take the
capacity.
route.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the
And-
same case with Kelly Reichardt's The
The
mastermind.
mastermind. Yeah.
But he has no good intentions also. He is oblivious
He
to
has
his
no
own intentions.
intentions.
He is
Yeah, he's
oblivious
like,
to his
I
own
don't know.
intentions. Yeah.
You don't look like cops.
Say, James, we've been told that you're mixed up in this robbery.
I sure don't know how you got down this road, but you got the wrong idea. I'm afraid you got some bad information.
So
Like,
Kelly Reichardt,
you know, when I was watching that movie, I was like, how this guy is so fucking vacant in the head. How did he end up with 2 children? Like, how did he
Yeah,
manage
it
to
is.
keep his focus? for
Yeah.
that
सर
long?
सर ऐसे क्वेश्चन पूछते नहीं है when you are in India. ठीक है, बहुत सारे लोग हैं ऐसे, आप chill मारो.
Anyways, this
I'm not in India, no, right now.
Varun and me will be covering the mastermind fairly quickly. We won't spoil it because Arjun
Yeah.
and Amartya haven't seen it
I will see
yet.
it tonight. I have seen 10
See it
minutes.
tonight.
Yeah,
You might really like the jazzy score.
Why are you
It has.
qualifying Mastermind? I've seen 10 minutes.
नहीं
Doesn't
सर
he
वैसा कुछ
watch-
नहीं. I was
नहीं,
being
नहीं, नहीं.
ambitious. ठीक है.
Yeah.
I saw
अच्छा.
morning में Blue Moon. फिर I went to watch a 3.5 hour का version. Not Blue
शोले.
Moon. Morning नहीं not Blue Moon. Morning में क्या देखा था मैंने?
So,
देखो मैं भूल भी
Roofman.
गया मैं क्या देखा था. हाँ Roofman. हाँ रूफमैन देखा. फिर मैंने 3.5 घंटे का शोले का फाइनल कट देखा. फिर मैं वापस
जो
आके
4
Blue
घंटे
Moon
का हो गया
देखा.
because वहाँ पे दिक्कत हुई आपको.
and then Blue Moon, and then
चा-
he wanted to do Mastermind. So he's done
And
a
then
lot
I wanted
today.
to do Mastermind. Then I was like नहीं होगा.
नहीं.
After Blue Moon I
Better
was like
also
नहीं होगा.
just take it easy with Mastermind. I think it's a film which of course requires patience, but also requires. Okay, so I'm a huge Kelly Reichardt fan. Expressed it many times on this
I'm a
podcast.
huge Kelly Reichardt fan as well. I think First Cow is a masterpiece. I genuinely love that movie.
That's
Varun,
the
this
movie
is
with Shia LaBeouf?
what?
No.
Hasn't she
not
done a
Shia.
film with Shia LaBeouf?
No.
No, why?
I'm getting it. He's done something with a similar poster. That's why I'm getting it confused.
She did. First Cow is with John Magaro.
John Magaro, who's in this also,
Okay.
shows
Yeah.
up in this.
Oh.
Night Goes is also good. Yeah.
Night Moves is her most genre film. I mean, even
70s
Meek's Cut
construction.
Off is, but then Meek's Cut Off is
It's not a remake
anti-western.
of the Arthur Penn,
Anti-Western.
right?
What?
No, I
Night
don't
Moves?
think
No,
so.
no,
No.
Please,
That
Kelly
I would
Reichardt won't
consider
do
that a crime. I would consider that a crime. No, early career directors have to do a lot of stuff.
But she makes movies because she wants to make them, and sort of she
Yeah, she
teaches.
doesn't know the.
So
Okay.
she teaches also at she taught at
Kelly
NYU
Reichardt-
also taught at
Kelly Reichardt
Bard.
Mic drop.
in a recent interview, like the interview with Devarshi, interview that she did with Devarshi, in that interview I was reading, she's like, I just laugh at the performative masculinity of men. I'm like, nice.
Yeah,
Chalo,
because
theek
the
hai.
mastermind is about that, and in many cases,
Yeah.
because we've talked about how men have been portrayed in Train Dreams, Blue Moon, and Roofman differently, of course. Mastermind, of course, Kelly Reichardt brings a different sensibility to it. She has already shown this in, I mean, Night Moves is one of them. First Cow also, I think. Yeah, First Cow is a lot of the soft
First
masculinity.
movie, right? Joy or something. Old Joy. What I forget. the
Old
name.
Joy,
That
Old
was
Joy.
also
Old Joy
Old
is
Joy.
entirely that. So yeah. Mastermind though is one of her, I would say, more opaque, emotionally opaque films to me at least. It takes a while for me to, rhyme with its emotionality. But it's a very interesting film. One of those films which I think, for me at least, gets better the more it goes on and the more I think about it. The premise of it is a man tries to delude himself into being this is a Om Shanti Om reference, being the quote unquote
God.
king of the world, but the world finally catches up to him.
Isn't
Essentially,
that technically a Titanic reference though?
मैंने टाइटैनिक बहुत टाइम से देखी नहीं है, sorry.
Acha.
So
Funny, I jived with it from the get-go.
okay,
I
fine.
was because I was like, oh, this is your vibe. I've understood. I am now
Sure.
I was
sitting
already
upright.
enjoying
Because-
the gas score only. I was like,
No,
Yeah.
because
So this
with-
is her most
with-
core heavy film also. Yeah.
Train Dreams, I was like, my head was like this, and I was lying on the couch, and I was trying to like keep my eyes up. With Mastermind, I was sitting up, and I watched them back to back,
Sure.
which is difficult if you watch Train
Yeah.
Dreams first.
I shouldn't be. I think you had a good nap, but
So,
ठीक है.
no, it wasn't a good nap. I watched the movie. Dhruv kept saying, "Mat dekho, suno." I'm like,
I was
"देखने ही तो लायक है."
I was
सुनने लायक नहीं है बिल्कुल.
no, but I was skeptical that you'd like Mastermind because it has
Mastermind,
such a deliberate pace to it. And
I was finally also reminded of a Soderbergh movie while I was watching it, which was No Sudden Move with Donnie
Oh,
it
yeah.
Campbell
has
and
it has
Benicio del Toro.
procedural elements to it, but in this
Yeah.
case the procedure is extremely sloppy. Like that's the
Oh
whole.
yeah. I'm like,
So
I wouldn't trust you to, go fetch milk from a grocery store.
it's
You're
interesting
that
that it's
incompetent.
interesting actually that Amartya and Arjun will get to the mastermind after seeing him in Knives Out. I saw it the opposite way around. So
Okay.
I went from I was like, what a asshole to like, oh, he's the nicest person in the film.
I wouldn't even say asshole. I was
Yeah,
like,
he's just
what?
pathetic. He's
What
very
a
like
useless character you are.
useless.
You're of no value to anyone.
Anything. No
Like your
value,
wife
but
is
thinks
struggling,
has
and
value.
Alana Haim, who has resting bitch face most of the time in
I
this
think she's
movie.
very underutilized in this, but yeah.
Also,
She
also,
is,
I
but
just
like,
realized. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just realized Mastermind is again one of two movies, जिसका title is essentially ironic.
Oh,
One
very
is
ironic. Yeah.
one is Mastermind, the other is the Secret Agent.
Yeah. True. True.
Very ironic.
But okay, so if people are familiar with Kelly Reichardt films, they know the vibe they are going in for. So, they won't be fooled by the trailer, which probably promises them like a heist film, a high stakes heist film at that. This
I mean,
has
I
no
don't even know
stakes.
why people do the whole trailer baiting
Sir, they have to
stage,
get
right?
people into the cinema. Come on.
Sir,
True,
marketing करना पड़ता है क्या कर सकते
Roofman ka
but like,
same tha. Roofman's poster is
acha.
abysmal. Like I hate it with a passion. It's so bad.
I mean, it's very
Uh,
much the corporate poster. Ki
I
marketing
hate
thinks
it.
this
And the
will work.
color is also really bad. It's like bright yellow for this film. No. Anyways, the Mastermind. Varun, you go first. I mean, go as in
Yeah.
like go for it quickly because we won't spoil much.
Yeah. No, I think
But yeah.
again, pretty useless man, of course. To me, it was more interesting about like, because I keep getting these. I mean, if you're sort of reading your first order of business in the day is to read the paper,
Yeah.
and then look at social media after the paper and look at how disengaged people tend to be versus the world.
Yeah.
You're like, it's going to catch up with you at some point, and
Yeah.
you don't realize it at all. Like, the world. And sure, there are some people who are really like insulated from any kind of world event aside from maybe a stock market crash.
We have somebody in this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
raising
mean,
my hand.
that's why I said apart from a stock market crash, right? So,
I
Please
think
don't
I'm
say
insulated
that.
from that fair bit, but okay.
okay, you're insulated from that also.
Yeah.
Fab. But
Please don't say that, please.
so I'm like, how much longer are you going to keep going with this whole, oh, it doesn't bother me, nothing is going to happen. Because it's something I've thought about in a foreign country a bit, wherein people are like, oh yeah, so what if I, stole a couple of vegetables from the shop? Nobody's ever going to find out. I'm like, yeah, but one day your luck will run out.
Yeah.
And this is that guy. He's basically not confident about anything, but he's so unremarkable that you're like, yeah, I guess I get why he is, doing this and why he thinks he'll get away with it, because he isn't going to be missed necessarily. He's not very present as a parent. He's
horrible.
Particularly useless as a husband.
Yeah.
Like, at least with the kids, he's spending some time. Like,
No,
he's
but like
bad
reluctantly,
parent.
he's like just.
Oh yeah. And he's like, he
Don't-
hands them some money and don't eat too many sweets. And then that kid is throwing up. And like, well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. No.
Yeah.
And he's got no basic planning ability. Like, he can't put a day together. He's like, tu chori karega. Daka dalega tu. A thing with so many different,
Yeah.
things that you've got to balance, so many variables. And that's what makes the film so fun, because you're like, he's got to slip up. He has, that's what, to me, I wasn't emotionally dialed in as much.
Sure.
Because I was like, there isn't anything to feel about this guy.
I think
just
the
want to
feeling
read
comes
through
not
the
for him, but through
Yeah.
the other characters around
like
him.
slap him a couple of times and be like, behave yourself, dude. What is
I mean,
this?
Alana Haim does throw a clock at his face, but he dodges
Which
it.
is great.
Yeah.
I mean, no, he gets a gas.
He
on the
throws a
side, so she
clock
gets-
at his
Like
Yeah,
one
like
of the
an
small
actual
alarm
70
clocks. Yeah.
From the time when you were about 90 years old, alarm clocks.
हाँ वही.
bedside table pe, which your grandchildren would keep unwinding. Anyway.
Yeah.
I've I was dialed into that aspect of the
Sure.
film. Like push has to come to shove eventually, and when it does, you're like, dude,
No, but I
this
think
is
so
hilarious.
there, I won't spoil it, but there's a moment
Yeah.
about 45 minutes into the film, I think, which happens once, which happens with a character who we don't see much apart from that moment. And it happens in a way where he gets a dressing down verbally.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Like, it's the moment for me,
Yeah.
which I was like, I kind of get more than the anti-heist nature of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I get what you are getting at more clearly now, in a way where
Yep.
it's not entirely clear, but it's like, I'm like, okay, you're getting at this person in a way which to me struck much more closer to like my Michel Antonioni's passenger, sorry. Like it felt like that in how it's capturing him. He's incredibly, I think Josh O'Connor deserves a lot of praise for being this aloof in this film, though, because he really is.
Yeah, and being
As a-
able to play the idiot
Yeah.
without lapsing into that, right?
Yeah,
Where
yeah, yeah.
The idiocy is evident.
I think
Which is so easy to do.
He's blinkered, right? He's got a blink. He lives
Yeah.
a blinkered existence, and getting that rather than just coming across as this douchebag, which he is, but like he doesn't accentuate
Yeah.
the douchebagginess of it.
No.
Yeah.
He's not actively, he's not beating up his wife or something like that. He's
I mean, the Kelly Reichardt register will never go there. I think.
no. But I mean, since I'm not tuned into
Yeah,
the
yeah,
filmmaker
exactly,
at all
yeah.
before this.
Like
Yeah.
Reichardt is like one of those news anchors. देखिए इस अजूबे चीज को इसको हम मर्द कहते हैं. इससे कुछ
Yeah.
नहीं होता है.
But आप
अजूबा नहीं
देखिए,
कहोगे सर, आप उसको नमूना कहोगे.
Alana Haim, I think, has a very good scene on a phone call, but I don't think he gets
again,
much
like
apart
very,
from that.
very underused. I've not seen her because I've not.
You've not
watched
seen
Licorice
Licorice, but no, but she's very good in that. I think she was
In that,
underused.
yeah.
But in this, Josh O'Connor is the mainstay. I think Gabby Hoffman
think-
makes a great impression when she
Also,
comes on.
the film to me at least felt a bit too long.
Sure.
It clocks in at just a shade under 2 hours,
Yeah.
which is not a bad length. Again, I shouldn't be saying this. I've watched very long movies this month,
Huh.
but
It's not the length, it's the pacing more like.
Pacing. Yeah.
No. I think sometimes you can sit with a long film, the edit is one thing, of course, but the writing also needs to hold up.
Pretty sure
Over
she
here-
edits her own films also.
Yeah,
if
she
I'm
does.
not
She
wrong.
does.
Yeah.
I think because it wants to be easy in terms of just being able to set a mood and everything, it takes that whole thing out
Yeah.
for too long. Like
Sure.
I thought a scene that was memorably long was one in which you could barely see anything. So when
Sure,
he's
I get what you
hiding
mean. Yeah.
the
There's
profits of his crime.
there's one, not showy, but like it's the long take.
Yeah, but I'm
yeah.
like, okay, this works, but otherwise there's just
Long
stretches of
give,
the
there's a lot of
Question.
stretch.
Question. Is it one quote unquote heist sequence or something like
no,
that?
No, sir.
There's no
No,
heist
no.
only, no.
There is no, essentially, you go in with the expectation that
Does not reach that place.
no, it reaches, but it's not he is not
मतलब
only
कुछ नहीं होगा.
Okay, you guys have both watched Bugonia, right?
Yes.
So without spoiling it, I'll give you a very basic reference. If Jesse Plemons and his cousins tried to do a heist
Yeah.
in that movie, like it's basically that's how the
That-
heist plays out here.
Yeah.
Understood.
Okay.
I've forgotten the other actor's name.
Yeah, except you don't have Emma Stone kicking him. Yeah.
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 I mean,
You have
I
Alana
wouldn't- I
Haim
wouldn't
throwing
call
a
that
clock at
heist
his
also,
face.
sir.
That later.
Yeah.
You have
That is
Alana
a
Haim throwing a clock at
consequence of him being annoying.
Yeah. Which he is. So I
Yeah.
understand her throwing.
But
a
very,
clock
very
at him.
enjoyable film.
Sure.
Tuned
Very
in again with-
interesting use of score.
Yeah,
very.
I thought very whimsical, jazzy kind of,
Yeah, but
dive
also
bar
when it's
stuff.
used, when it's not used, I think is very interesting.
I mean
in
that
how
that's
it-
to matlab, some filmmakers should just go out once in a while without like music and listen to
Also,
like, birds and
again, we're
traffic.
not spoiling, but the ending of this film is very interesting. Let's just say that. Yeah.
I was laughing. I was
Okay.
really just laughing
Yeah.
throughout it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a film I had not expected anything of because
Yeah.
to me it looked very much like, oh God, loserism meets Vietnam kind of
No,
thing.
no, 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 no.
And then it wasn't that, even though that is maybe a part of it, but
Yes,
like it's
yeah.
very small. Vietnam is very much in the background
Background.
Background. Okay.
Yeah.
for him
And
also, which is the more important part.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly. So
understood.
yeah, no, no, it's a very fascinating film, which again you should watch whenever you get the time to watch. What isn't so fascinating maybe is Frankenstein by
Oh.
Guillermo
Oh
del
God.
Toro.
I must confess, I never considered what would come after creation.
This is his latest
I'm saying
film.
oh God because Dhruv is going to absolutely hate this movie and I did not mind it that
No,
much.
I mean, I'm not gonna hate it.
Yeah, even I don't mind it. I like
I'm not taking
most of it.
Amartya's word for it, because even in that fucking live stream, he was like, "Oh, I liked this movie," and then Chris and I are silent. He's only going off on it.
okay. Anyways, I positively did not like it. I got extremely bored by it very early on and then had a fairly difficult time finishing it. But anyways, I think I'm a huge Guillermo del Toro fan. I think, or at least think I've liked a lot of his works. The only work I'm confident in saying I love or very much like is Pinocchio because I saw it recently enough. Pan's Labyrinth, I remember loving whenever I had seen it. Devil's Backbone, I remembered loving when I had seen it. But I also, by then, had not seen Victor Erice's work, whose work Guillermo del Toro draws from a lot. So, a lot of
Have
these
all three of
things.
you seen it,
What?
Frankenstein?
Yeah, all three of us have
Oh,
seen it.
All
okay.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You are the. आपने assignment नहीं किया पूरा. Um,
2.5 hours felt like a bit of a commitment.
No, but to be very honest,
it
it's
is.
okay. To be very honest,
Two
it's
and a
okay.
half hours is a commitment, I think. But anyways, Guillermo del Toro is adaptation of Mary Shelley's
I think
Frankenstein.
I think
Or
I think इसका main issue with Frankenstein is the fact that Guillermo del Toro's Mary Shelley's adaptation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is essentially his 264th iteration of adaptation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein because that's the movie that he's been adapting throughout his goddamn career.
yeah.
yeah.
And at this point, after actually adapting Frankenstein, I'm like ये तो मैंने पहले भी देखा है
I
आपके
mean,
हाथ से ही देखा
technically,
है.
Pinocchio is also
Yeah.
making
आप
of
Yeah.
आपके
some kind
आपके
of
हाथ से ही
material.
देखा है. I'm like, why are you repeating? ये तो redundant
But
है.
but no, that was my thought even when the title was announced. I was like, why is he doing Frankenstein? Isn't all his work essentially that in
I
any
mean,
case?
some direct, but okay. Again, I've not seen the film. Aren't some directors just that
No,
obsessed
but they
with
find
one thing?
different variations on it.
Different
No.
But
They
he's
can
iterations,
found
say
na?
they're
different
the same story.
variations, no?
But
He's
for
found
him, it is
different ways of
personal.
telling it.
It's like father, sons,
So like,
everything.
Okay.
That's what
and
he's trying to explore here. So what?
Devil's Backbone is supposed to be like the brother film of Pan's Labyrinth. Like, you'll get different dynamics, different characters. Here it's like the most stock version of all the things he's done. And I'm like, but why? Like
It's
the even
weird only. It's weird only because it's apparently like he's trying to be faithful to the source material, but also he has changed quite
barely,
a massive bit of it.
yeah.
And I'm like,
He's changed the main, like the film is what the source is about man's creation and having to contend with
With
like scientific creation, right? His creation and what he's done and his curiosity, a lot of it, and how what the creation is ends up being part of of nature nurture bhi ho jata hai, right? In that sense, here it's like daddy issues. Like, it's a
Yeah.
different thing. He makes the creature because he has daddy issues or whatever, mommy issues, whatever you want to call it. It's like
full
mommy
mommy.
issues, okay. So
parent
the
issues, chalo.
parent
So
issues,
Victor has
whatever.
mom issues. Frankenstein and
No, Mia Goth is
Arthur has
cast as his
daddy
mother
issues.
and his lover in many
Yeah.
ways, like
Yeah.
in that way,
Yeah.
that sense.
Full
Utna hi
mommy
dip.
issues, मैं कह रहा
हाँ
हूँ
हाँ,
ना.
Let's reframe the whole thing. I think
yeah,
he knows more about Shelley, so we
of
cannot
course,
comment on that. He
yeah.
studied it like
He's
No,
he's
no,
brilliant.
I'm
changed
not
No,
it.
no,
saying I'm not saying
but
that he
Arjun,
doesn't.
that can also be a pitfall though. When you
हाँ,
know
it
Yeah.
too
can
much
be.
about something, you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I need to go at it. Sometimes a lack of familiarity with or like a disdain for a format, which is Coppola's disdain for the gangster novel that Puzo wrote, is why
That is
Godfather is
basically
the
what
kind of
made
film it
Godfather
is.
what it is. Yeah.
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 I think I think because he knows so much about Shelley, which is why my disdain because Frankenstein. My thing is, I liked Frankenstein's production. I liked Frankenstein how it looked. I did think that the CG is very noticeable.
Oh
Okay, that
yeah.
Yeah,
it is
also.
very very noticeable.
That's going
I
to be a trend with a couple more films, I think.
No,
yeah
but
yeah
the
yeah
exterior shots in this looked very wonky to me.
very
The
wonky.
interiors were much better because, of course, they were like capturing the
Yeah
sets.
yeah.
But I have an issue with Dan Lawson's camera work also. I'll get into that
Yeah,
with
yeah,
you as
it's
well.
very color grading itself. I think it is very gray. Considering the fact that the production design is supposed to make it look very colorful, it is also very gray.
By the
So
way,
But
sorry,
doesn't
Amartya,
he
I'm
pick
just.
like a
I,
dominant color tone and stick to it almost
he
like
looks like
in
the
Shape of Water it's
Prometheus ka
blue.
engineer only. By the way,
oh,
Jacob Elordi.
Everything is
Melody.
drained out
Jesus,
from the film.
Hmm.
But
you are
Guillermo
right.
was telling about these color codes that he's followed, but I couldn't find it. I'll have to watch it again to
Because
see
So
what
Crimson
like
it
Peak
was.
is commits to its aesthetic, like the color, right? Of course, and then it's like
Hmm.
very gorgeous in how committed
I
to
think
yeah,
it
I
like
think the
is.
I think
Nightmare
the
Alley is almost black.
Yeah,
Shape of Water is that cerulean
blue, of
blue.
course,
But
and
that is
Uh,
then
so good looking.
Pinocchio is
Nightmare Alley
orange.
looked so good, like
hmm.
the shadows and everything.
Yeah.
Noir, that setting was there, but here it's like very literal, like
Oh, it's
it's like
it's like
someone's
washed
dream of
out
what
almost.
it's almost
yeah,
fully
washed
washed
out. Yeah,
out. It's fully
Oh,
washed
yeah,
out.
Like
Like
you
it's
see
like
the sets, you see the
y-
sets.
you see the
yeah.
sets, but you're like,
they're
I
not
need some more.
integrated into like
Yeah,
a
I need some more
visual.
pop. I needed more pop. At least visually, I
Okay.
needed more pop.
By the
Because
way,
he can
so
do that.
so
He's that sort of filmmaker.
Hmm.
yeah,
He's
the
like if
production
someone can
designer
make
is
Frankenstein pop, it's him.
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, bro.
No
No, no,
issues.
that's
I'm just
fine.
listing the names of people who Varun has kindly shared with
Hmm.
me for Frankenstein. Who like because we wanted to praise the production design, art design, set decoration, and all that. So production designer is Tamara Deverell, art directors Brand Gordon, Celestia Kimmins, and Emma O'Sullivan, and set decorator Shane. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but I apologize.
Okay. Uh,
And costume designer is Kate Hawley. So yeah,
I don't think yeah. So from the technical point of view, uh, Frankenstein is a shoe-in for the Oscars, at least for these
of
categories.
course.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and to be very honest, those look really good.
Hmm.
I also, and this is important.
Hmm.
I think Dhruv's criticism is something that I actually liked. I like the monster. I think
Yeah.
the monster is the one bit of humanity within this movie,
No,
which the
I don't
film
mind
also
the monster.
the
I don't
film
mind
also
the monster.
largely and wisely takes that route. The
Hmm.
film largely and wisely makes the monster a secondary from the secondary to the central figure,
Yeah.
which is why the monster with its own philosophizing, because it is essentially like a newborn kid who is learning the world around him,
Yeah.
it becomes that it becomes essentially like learning curve for the monster, and then the learning curve transforms into rage. I think it is very literal, but I think Jacob Elordi's performance actually sells that for me.
Sure.
I think he
Uh,
is really good in this.
I think I can imagine a version of that working for me entirely without any of it being a narration. I just think the narration kills it. Kills the
I
connect
didn't
I had.
mind the narration in this.
I mean,
I
see,
didn't.
he provides a framework for the narration. It is framed in a way where the context is that you have two tales being told by two people. So
Yeah, that's also
the
like unnecessary.
the
Yeah.
framework is there. I think the framework is largely perfunctory. You could remove it, and I
Yeah,
don't think you lose much from it.
absolutely.
Uh,
It's essentially, I'm sorry to say this, it's essentially like watching a Telugu or a Tamil commercial cinema. Ha, this
sure,
is this flashback sequence. Ha, this is that
Yeah.
flashback sequence. I'm
sure.
like, sure.
It's like he was trying too hard to put a stamp on
I
it
mean,
so that
Netflix. So
how to
it's
make
a
it look.
Netflix thing
Yeah,
also. So
it's
like to me, it was
little.
also like
Yeah,
it's concessions to maybe people who do the second screen wala thing, where it's like we will also tell you
But
what
I think
our characters
Frankenstein
are
is
saying.
too. I think Frankenstein is too well made and too largely prestigious, even for people inundated within Netflix.
Sir,
Okay,
look at what Ted Sarandos is saying. There's nothing too prestigious for Netflix.
No, no.
They are now going to
I'm
be
saying
in
the
this business
audience.
only.
No, no. I'm saying for the audience itself, who is too inundated within Netflix. I think
no, but
Frankenstein is
Del
too prestigious
Toro,
for that. That's all I'm
it's
saying.
high protein. Del Toro has been constantly saying that it's not eye
Hmm.
candy, it's high protein. So he's like trying
Okay,
to make some points to the film. So it's not like a second screen viewing sort of an experience
Yeah,
that he's.
sure, sure.
I
But
think he's.
then I
I
think it
think he's trying his
overcommits
hardest.
to.
I think he's trying his hardest to make sure ki I am going to deliver something quote unquote prestige for the people who are watching this on screens. But I'm like, sure, you're delivering it on prestige, but you are essentially doing an adaptation,
Yeah,
and an adaptation which is supposedly very much maintaining fidelity, But then there are changes within the adaptation which I'm like, you really did not need to do that.
I called it a de-imagination as opposed to a reimagination, but
I
that's
mean,
just me.
we've had the
Uh,
same sort of. I don't know whether Dhruv remembers it. I don't want to give him PTSD. We sort of
what?
thrashed the same thing out over Nosferatu, wherein it's not offering you
Yeah,
something
yeah.
substantially new
See, sir, I
in any
genuinely,
way.
I would have been fine if the not new thing. I've usually clicked with his film's emotionality. I just could not. With this, I just never clicked with anyone. The only person possible who I would have clicked with is with the Elodie character and the relationship he shares with Mia Goth's character. But I think that also, like, he uses the montage or musical montage to uh, go through their relationship a little too quickly for me, or even with him and Victor. Because I think the issue for I would have happily taken a slightly longer version of when he is born and is childlike and is doing the activities more. Like, I would have happily seen that stretched out as opposed to then. I genuinely
I think the how do I put this? I think the like overdevelopment of Victor Frankenstein as a character
Oh
feels
yeah, overdevelopment, but
largely,
very simplified. No, like, you know exactly what he is.
It's
yeah,
very one note.
it's very
Yeah,
That's the
one note.
main issue.
and
It's
the
very
Yeah.
one
performance
note.
is also
So
that. Like, I think Oscar Isaac overcommits to it. He is an asshole in
yeah.
the film, a
Hmm.
wimpy asshole.
No, but
And
I think largely the performances, which even Mia got, I think largely
I
the
don't.
performances
Hmm.
understand what the assignment is in a way.
Hmm.
yes,
It's
perfectly.
it's very
Hmm.
gothic, it's very melodramatic. It understands perfectly
Yeah.
what the assignment is, and I think for that assignment the roles are done quite well.
Yeah.
I think transcending the assignment is essentially what Elodie is doing. Elodie is
Sure.
essentially bringing forth a humanity that is maybe described in one line in the paper, but he is bringing his own spin to it,
I mean,
which
Yeah.
that's his speciality also. Like Del Toro's, he is very
yeah.
good at making his creatures more human than
And
human.
again, it's like Del Toro's kindness or sympathy is always towards the monsters, which
Of
again
course.
brings to mind the
Yeah.
question is that is his entire goddamn filmography. So what
No,
will bring with the
which is
Frankenstein
fine. Like,
movie?
which is what I'm saying. I'm entering this film with the ethos that I love his ethos. I
Yeah.
love his love for the monsters. I love his love for the other. I'm entering it with that mindset. But the thing is, when it hit the creature ka story and it turned into Spirit of the Beehive ka, I could not believe it. I was just like, I can't believe someone who's expressed this much love for Victor Reach's film could bastardize it so badly. I was like, the whole point of that film and the whole point of creating monsters in that film is that they are created mysteriously and happen to have in them magic and mystery, which is very hard to understand. This is a film clearly intent on thrusting that understanding in front of your face. And I was just like, you can't do that and make me want to empathize with these things. The more the people kept on speaking about what they are learning, what they are, I'm just like, I just don't care. Like, I'm just like, if
Well,
all,
I think the tussle then becomes like, uh, how much of it is you essentially being faithful to the source material as an adaptation, and how much of it is you bringing your own stamp into it? I think
Yeah.
Hmm,
that's the push and pull that I think Del Toro is facing or bringing forth into it. And I think largely, even if we look at it as an adaptation, I think largely speaking, it is still good for
hmm,
me at least. I
hmm.
think this is more or less one of the more faithful Frankenstein movies I've seen in a while. Okay,
Yeah, because the
and
original 1931 one is positioned. I mean, it's now a classic horror film. Like, it's one that sets the trend for, no, not
but
that
I think
Dracula did, but
considering
this
That
I
also.
think
and Dracula, both.
I think
Dracula's
considering that
terrible, but this the James Whale version is
yeah.
very good. Yeah,
I think considering what the primary ethos of sci-fi actually is
yeah,
the exploration of what human condition actually is, but setting it in distinctive futures imagined by authors, but ultimately describing what the human condition actually might be when faced under different circumstances. And
hmm,
considering that Frankenstein is essentially a sci-fi story
yeah,
in the very loosest of terms, it is
hmm,
very much a sci-fi story. It is
yeah,
also very much a horror story.
yeah,
So from that account, I think as an adaptation, even with all the changes, I think it is quite a good movie, quite a good one in its way. But I think as a Del Toro movie and what we have come to expect from Del Toro, it is very ponderous. I think I'm one of the few who really liked Nightmare Alley. I can't say I loved
Okay.
it. I really liked Nightmare Alley. I think it was
Shocking.
I think it was too like for a movie that is homaging noir. I think it was too grand guignol in its approach.
Sure.
I think way too much grand
Also added your
guignol.
favorite actor in it.
He's good
Yes,
in it.
he's
He's
quite good.
Decent. It's Kate Blanchett's film
He-
technically. In that
I mean,
sense.
I mean,
As far as the
need to-
acting is
You
concerned.
don't need to take away appreciation from a performer if you don't like
I'm
the
not
guy.
taking away. He's just very smug actor also to me. Like I find him very obvious.
sir, you don't have to explain his smugness to me of all people.
I'm
You
having to
understand,
explain
right?
it to Dhruv.
Yeah,
I mean,
you-
no. आपके साथ तो मतलब playground में
आप
झगड़ा
तो-
हुआ है आप लोगों का. I'm not getting into it.
Yeah, basically. No, my thing is that I am one of the few guys who actually really like Nightmare Alley, and I think even with its flaws, and I think Frankenstein is even more of a like bursting at the seams kind of a movie. It is. It's trying to do too much.
Wasn't Nightmare Alley also some 2.5 hours long? Or something?
Yeah.
too long.
Same
Yeah.
thing. It
But I
But it just
suppose it's
self-contained
also,
in a way. Nightmare
it's
Alley.
also more a
Yeah, sorry.
question of like he's like Nightmare Alley is technically a remake. Pinocchio is a retread of Pinocchio.
It's fine, sir.
This
If his thing is
No,
to
no, no.
like,
I'm not saying don't do it. I think what happens is, as a filmmaker, you tend to then get shoved into that corner, and it becomes very difficult when you are working with a Netflix.
yeah.
Because with a Pinocchio, they'll still be more willing to take a chance because
A
their
chance, yeah.
animation division
And I think
has not done too much samey sort of work. Their animation division, I would say, has been more interesting than their live action cinema production.
the moralizing that happens in Pinocchio is also much more digestible to me, at least, because the animation format
it's
maybe
Pinocchio.
is more conducive to it. Maybe
It's like what I was saying to Amartya that day. Animation just makes everything
also the
easier to
artistry
live
is
with.
artistry
Yeah,
is
it
the
is
point,
absolutely.
right? So it's
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
those is one of those things. But in here, it was just like soliloquizing about all this ponderous thoughts, and I was just like, I got flashbacks of like the worst parts of Alien, Prometheus, and Covenant. I'm just like, just enough. I'm done.
Everything is
Like,
spelled out here. That's
yeah,
the
I'm just
main.
like, just enough. Like, you know,
I think
I heard it.
legitimately speaking, that is something that we are going to have to live with now. To be very honest.
I can
maybe
That's
it
a
is a
compromise.
function of our
but, yeah.
times.
Yeah.
I think this verbose thing comes from the second screen viewing sort of, scenario
Yeah.
that
Fully.
But
what if
Arjun,
a
tell me
person
something.
wants to watch it?
Is it okay
Yeah.
for a filmmaker to then be
No, he's been unsubtle always. ऐसा नहीं है कि
no
Del Toro hasn't been.
But he has been
unsubtle
more confident
and
in his,
ham-fisted is very
great
different.
confidence.
Sir.
Sure, yeah.
Unsubtle, I can give you Steven Spielberg is fucking unsubtle
Of
as
course,
hell.
yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
He's got all
Your
the
fave.
subtlety of a sledgehammer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I own my Spielberg fandom, boss. I'm not
Yeah.
ashamed. Like film bros.
But you are
or
not
liking
going to. But you are
Spielberg.
not going to find Spielberg essentially recapping what is happening in the previous scene through a character.
He
name, right?
keeps his. I mean, I have problems with some of the films in some bits and pieces. Like, why do you need a flashback insert? But he's also part of a cinematic
I mean,
tradition where the flashback insert was a thing.
Yeah.
Was a thing, yeah.
Right, with Del Toro working for a Netflix, I think the thing is that then you are having to give in to some level of corporate demand ki this is too difficult to follow, तो भी इसको not
इसमें
even
क्या
simplify,
difficult to
dumb
follow
down
है?
करो. Sir, if
or-
it is second
or
screen,
Del-
you're not paying attention.
अरे तो
Del Toro as a
Sorry.
person, if you watch his interviews, he has many things to say. Like it's not like
Yeah.
he's just
he's a
making
great.
genre.
Also, it's great to listen to him. He's a great
Yeah,
Oh, he's a
so
great
great.
storyteller and like
One
he's
of
a
the
great
finest,
storyteller.
people to listen
Yeah.
to. So it's like he has these wild ideas going around about the history of the arts, the romantics, what Frankenstein stands for in the canon. So he's dealing with many other things. It's not just a film for him. It's like a
Yeah.
cultural landmark.
Again, it's like if you're going to make it into a magnum opus, it's like it's bursting at its seam because it's essentially a magnum opus of his filmography. It's essentially like, I'm sorry again, it's essentially like what Tenet was for Christopher Nolan. Kind of, if you think about it.
is that a good transition point?
It's the
Sure.
same
To
thing, I
where?
think.
To which time?
The Running Man, I think.
Running Man.
I wish it
Why-
went backwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that how you're transitioning? Okay, fine.
I don't
I
know.
was
You
like,
tell me.
I had Jay Kelly lined up after this, but
No,
apparently
do
that's
J.
even more.
Kelly.
Do J. Kelly,
That
that's
maybe that's
fine.
more of a memory loss sort of film, where
Yeah,
both of you have
fully.
forgotten everything only.
J. Kelly
No,
किसने
they,
देखा है?
because it's easier for the two of you to recall them.
Yeah, yeah,
Both of us, right, Arjun?
yeah.
Both of
Arjun
us.
and
Yeah,
Amartya have seen it. Yeah.
And cut. Can we go again? Really? I'd like another one. All my memories are movies.
That's what movies are for us. Pieces of time.
Pieces of time.
Okay, let's go with it.
It's directed
Let's
by
go-
Noah Baumbach. By the
Yeah.
way, Sanjeet's favorite. I know that. So
Yeah, even I
I
like him. I
White
like his
noise
marriage
director.
I like
Noah
Baumbach. I
Baumbach.
like.
story.
sure.
Yeah, I like.
Okay.
Hmm.
Sorry.
This
So
is most
everyone's favorite.
straightforward film in his career, I guess. Like from
Jay
his
Kelly.
beginning. Yeah, Jay Kelly. It's like very doesn't even feel like a Baumbach film at some
Oh.
points.
Okay.
The pettiness of the character, sometimes George Clooney's character or Adam Sandler's character is a good character, but
Mhm.
only the way they treat other people, then you get to
Okay.
know that okay, this is a Baumbach film because he's like
For pretentious for a lot of quote unquote Bengalis, I'm saying that with a disdain.
You already said the pretentious. अब पूरा ही बोल दो.
नहीं पूरा नहीं बोल सकते. For a lot of Bengalis, I'm putting the disdain out because Bengalis are like, this is Noah Baumbach's Nayok. I am like, please, for the love of God,
yeah.
please.
Oh, but I
for
thought
the
it
love
was
of-
8.5.
just because it is set in a train, just because it has actors in
Oh.
it, doesn't mean that this movie is Nayok.
Yeah.
Maybe you thought it's Nayak, but it's actually Nayak, the real hero. by some-
नहीं
This-
sir,
this
नहीं
was not
sir.
the perfect, you know,
George Clooney कीचड़ में नहाया हुआ.
Jay Kelly was made at the perfect time, okay,
Yeah.
because he had George Clooney with him. There is this meta text of Clooney's
Yeah.
career being reflecting back, and he had this perfect spotlight. Okay, Adam Sandler being this manager who has this contrast mirroring life to the superstar,
Yeah,
who is
fully.
like looking after family. Everything is in place, but the film in the middle sections, it feels like it's like ponderous. Like even
No,
Frankenstein feels like
it's
it's
not
like
even
very.
ponderous. It's not even ponderous.
It
It's
just
too
goes on.
slight. It's too
Yeah,
slight.
Oh.
nothing is happening. It's like literally the film stops
But
and
is
it
it like
starts again.
I've written here famous man searches for meaning of life, isn't it that?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
it's pretty much the
exactly
same
what
thing.
it is. Except that it
I'm
is
pretty sure
spoon-fed.
that sounds.
Yeah, except that it is
Yeah.
spoon-fed because dumb Americans. So
What do you mean
need to
spoon-fed? How
spoon-feed.
can how can you spoon-feed searching the meaning of life?
हाँ वो भी कर
That's
सकते
it.
हैं सर, वो भी कर सकते हैं.
It's like Michael Clyde, what's the film? Yeah, like he comes into the film like, you know, he's looking for like a fantasy, like, you know, where am I going? What have I done with my career? That sort of thing happens in Italy. Then it's like, you know, the
So
film
it
drops
doesn't
back to
commit to
this daughter
surrealism?
problem.
No, वो क्या है?
No, it tries to be, but it does not go there.
It
just,
does not go
you-
there.
This sounds
It just
horrible.
reaches the, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not
on
watching
the
it.
borders
See,
of
here's
surrealism.
here's the
This is a
thing.
weird movie, actually. Jay Kelly. It's like,
I reviewed J. Kelly. I reviewed J. Kelly on 5th December 2025. 15 days ago, Amurta Acharya is far more vitriolic than current Amurta Acharya. Okay, because I am like I wrote this. Okay, the question of where Clooney ends and Kelly begins is the same as where J. Kelly the actor ends and J. Kelly the person begins. It's a
Okay.
blur. Okay,
Okay.
and it's that exploration of that blur with a slight frothiness mixed with classicism befitting Eurofilms. Bracket में I wrote, think Bardo or 8.5 for dummies. And what you have is protracted introspection spelled out in neon, made by a director afraid to show his actor too unlikable, played by an actor who is impossible to dislike.
it's like, that pretty
So
much sums it
perfect.
up.
That's the best.
This is a
thing you can-
melodrama, sir. What?
No,
why,
no, no.
Why is
no,
he stuffing surrealism into it?
This is the exact Amartya.
No, it's like-
आपको पहले ही ये मुझे स्क्रीनशॉट करके भेज देना चाहिए था ताकि मैं कभी सोचूं भी नहीं कि मैं ये पिक्चर देखूं. You know, like
नहीं
I don't
देखा
want to. I don't want to think about watching it.
Like Baumbach is trying to be Antonioni, like, you know, in a review.
Antonioni
Everyone
nahi.
else.
I have not seen 8.5. I've not seen 8.5.
You don't
like
8.5,
And I'm
no?
telling you, he's trying to do
Fellini,
Fellini.
yeah.
Fellini,
I
na?
can-
Huh.
Yeah.
But it's like something should happen. The childhood portions were good. The
Something
flashbacks
should
were good.
happen.
Something should happen.
So it's like
So,
pointlessly the
but what
You
do
know
you
what?
just like
You
roam
know
around
what?
with these people?
No, you know
film
what?
is going around in circles. That's
No, you
pretty
know
much
what?
what I
You know
got from
what
the
pissed me off? You know what pissed me off in J. Kelly?
What
Minutely,
else
because
pissed
this
you off,
movie
you
is
mean?
no, because this movie because this movie is not even offensive enough to piss me off for more than 5 minutes.
Ah, okay.
So
Yeah.
After that review, you're saying this?
yes,
Such
yes,
a nothing burger of a movie. It's like
yeah,
it
yeah,
sits there
sir,
and
ये
it's just,
review, yeah.
you're just looking at it, just telling it, do something. Film is
हाँ,
not doing anything. It's just sitting there.
Sir,
So it's like, so
ये
what
review
you
is
feel?
not me being pissed off. ये review is not me being pissed off. This review is just me being snarky.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
one
he
thing,
was pissed off in the Bardo episode. I know how angry Amartya was against like Bardo, but
yeah,
that
yeah.
I suppose to the credit of Bardo, it made you angry. This
It made
doesn't.
me angry. This
Huh.
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
give me
pretentious, right?
anything.
This is not even pretentious. That's
This is
Yeah.
just like
bordering
wiffly
on everything.
waffly sort of.
Sir, again, Bardo or 8.5 for dummies. क्या expect कर रहे हो?
No,
But
it
thing is,
sounds like the worst thing. That's why I'm saying
also,
I'm never
also
gonna
the
watch
thing,
it.
also the
Only
thing is,
redeeming thing. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
no,
Yeah.
no, that what I'm saying is one thing that pissed me off was the fact that he stands in front of the mirror and is essentially reciting actors' names just to as if to imbibe famous stars and their stardom within himself. So he's like
Yeah.
Gary Cooper,
Gary Cooper.
then he's
Okay.
like Jay Kelly, then he's again saying Cary Grant, then again he's saying Jay Kelly, as if to bring forth that charisma within him so that he can actually face the world. Very interesting choice.
I'd just laugh at such a movie.
Yeah.
When you have someone like Clooney, you don't need to do that.
Yeah,
But the film
who's fucking Clooney?
does this too. So it's like,
And
why? He
what
knows.
is
You give
interesting
these
to
lines to Chalamet. He needs.
And I think
Yeah,
what
he
is
needs that.
interesting about Clooney, is that Clooney is literally perfect. Like he's made for this. The
Yeah,
problem is
exactly.
the director is not pushing him to be unlikable. Come on, make him unlikable. What are
And
you
he's
doing?
the guy who's directed himself in the Ides of March, in which he is not particularly likable.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
exactly.
played an idiot all his life for the Coens. Like, come on, like he is
That
game
too,
for all
but no,
this.
idiot versus dislikable man are two
Both,
different
yaar.
things, right?
But no, he's been
Maybe, but
dislikable
they're
also.
Dislikable, sir.
separate films.
Dislikable. He is in that very stupid. He's in that very stupid in a good way. Coen Brothers ka movie where Brad Pitt is an idiot.
Burn
Wo
after
कौन सा-
reading, yeah,
Burn
yeah,
After
yeah.
Burn after
After
reading.
reading,
हाँ, हाँ.
Yeah.
He's very stupid and dislikable.
And dislikable both, yeah.
Yeah.
Only
I mean,
idea
I
for
would
this
make the
film.
case. Sorry,
Yeah.
Arjun, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I would make the case that he's dislikable even in Michael Clayton, but he's the least dislikable of all of
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
So
He's
Michael
the-
Clayton, he was exceptional.
Yeah,
He was exceptional,
he's the
even though
most
he was
dislikable
dislikable. Yeah.
when he directed Suburbicon.
Okay, yeah. fair.
Yeah,
Sorry, Arjun, I interrupted you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was I saying?
Something about how
Missed
dislikable Clooney was and stuff.
Yeah.
Arjun, look into your laptop ka camera and say Arjun Sivakumar or Arjun Menon, whatever. You will remember everything.
Yeah, I'll remember everything. It
Yeah,
will
yeah,
all
yeah.
come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, what happens is like Clooney. Only there are few ideas here. Like Billy Crudup's character makes it. A childhood friend comes back. Not
Yeah.
a childhood teenage friend. There's a sequence there which is interesting. Adam Sandler, as usual, does this. He understands the assignment
Sandler
and
is
he
very
brings in
good.
some
Okay.
emotional quotient to the film.
Hmm.
Okay.
Film is like very plain.
How's
And
Laura
so
Dern? I saw
Sandler,
she's in it. Is she there for long or just comes
she's
and
She's
says
there
hi?
for
barely there.
15
She's barely
minutes.
there.
Okay.
Yeah,
15
10, 15
minutes,
minutes.
yeah.
She just goes off from the train and people are just
Okay.
going off movies. Like characters are leaving midway.
Also,
And only Clooney
another
and
thing is this movie does the cardinal sin of ultimately, which another movie also does the same thing, which is Superboys of Malegaon. Both
Okay.
these movies do the cardinal sin of ending in a movie theater where suddenly the main character goes through a closure of sorts while watching a movie and his own filmography.
Yeah, cinema
And then
paradiso, but like to their own movie.
yeah, to their own thing, and then he looks beside him. He sees his present friends.
Himself. Oh, actually, okay.
He sees his present friends. Then he sees his own past. Then he sees his own past ka friends. They're all sitting with him in the same theater, and I basically looked at it and it just pointed two middle fingers. I'm like, fuck you, legitimately.
Oh, why? I thought
Yeah.
I thought you guys didn't. इतना hate तो आपने chat पे कभी express
नहीं
नहीं किया,
मैंने
so I
hate
was
भी नहीं
expecting.
किया.
It's not
No,
hate. It's not
मैंने hate भी नहीं किया.
wanted
It's
perfection. That's my problem.
yeah, मैंने
And
hate
that
भी
other
नहीं किया.
place,
My fuck you is to a movie that is so inoffensive that it doesn't even elicit a reaction. What are you doing?
And this is your reaction, sir. It is eliciting a reaction. I don't know what to tell you.
At the end, he looks at the camera and he's like, "Can we run it again?" As if he'll do the same thing again. Like life is like
This
He
sounds
basically says that.
horrible.
It
Sorry,
is.
It's
but
dreadful.
so
Like,
It is not
it's
horrible.
like a
It is
meta
not horrible.
commentary.
It
It's
is
like a
not
spoof.
horrible. It is
Yeah.
smack dab mediocre. It is smack dab
this doesn't
mediocre.
sound mediocre at all.
yeah,
Yeah,
this
it is
sounds
smack
actually
dab
worse.
mediocre.
But anyways, thank you guys for not wasting, like, not telling me
No,
and
no,
basically
they're
telling me and Varun not to
providing
watch
What is
it.
the reason for me watching and somewhat quote unquote like finding it palatable? Number one, Clooney. I can watch
Yeah.
You
Clooney
like
read a
Clooney a
phone
lot, right?
book.
Yeah, yeah.
I can watch Clooney read a phone book. He's that
Mm,
charming.
mm.
And the
Sandler.
visuals when they're not shot in a studio with horrible CGI.
Yeah, yeah.
So
What is
like
with everybody having horrible CGI suddenly?
Why do you need CGI in this movie?
I have no idea.
Background, sir. It's not a location shoot.
Acha, okay.
Yeah.
You
They're
should
traveling
watch
on the go.
I
So it's
You
like,
need
I'm not crazy. I'm not the bomb bag guy in any case. So whenever he's doing like his own spins to things, I'm actually quite interested.
I mean,
Things
it also
when the movie also works when the movie actually goes into the past ka sequences and then finds
yeah.
Clooney looking through his past and then their entire constructed set and everything and he's looking through his
This
own
sounds
career
very,
quote unquote.
this sounds
Yeah.
very Fellini, very, then of course
Yeah, yeah.
It
Sorrentino.
is that.
So,
It is
It's
okay.
that
intended to that
again.
only. It's
It
pretty
is
much paying
that.
homage to that. But yeah,
Yeah.
that movies are good.
Perfect, perfect.
Sandler is good.
I will rewatch The Great Beauty. Thank you. Anyways,
Sarandino is also good.
Yep.
yes.
I mean,
We
I
shall.
just want to ask something because you brought up Superboys of Maligaon. I thought that ending in that film worked because the circumstances of the film at the
The
end are
scene,
such.
no, yeah, I do agree with you that it worked. I'm just saying, even the conception of a scene like that is essentially very
Arey, but
cliche and very corny. It is very
without
It
his
cliche.
has
death,
become.
Yeah.
without that bastard's death, it doesn't really come together. No,
Shashank
if he hadn't died,
to all the
That
listeners,
bastard's
Shashank
death.
Then,
I didn't want to say the actual character's name because his death was a tragedy.
His
The
death was a
Shashank Arora disappearing from the movie was the best thing that happened to that movie.
Jesus Christ, Varun.
Okay.
It
I
was a
think
good
someone.
movie.
It is
I
a good
think.
movie. I don't disagree with you.
I think
He's fuck all.
someone. I think someone else also disappeared from the next movie. Its director, which
Oh
is.
yeah, we are talking
oh,
about. Oh yeah.
nice
Oh, so
segue.
I'm just going to lay some quick context to
Yeah.
like why I believe The Running Man is
Sucks.
yeah, basically.
Welcome to the Running Man.
People on these games never come back.
I'm not trying to get myself killed, so kiss my ass twice.
Right there is why you can win this game.
So, funnily enough, I'm wearing a T-shirt from Edgar Wright's local cinema, and where I used to go and watch movies. So this is really, really bad to be saying shit about him.
By the way, it's written by Edgar Wright himself and Michael Ball, right?
Michael
Who also.
Bacall.
Ball.
Bacall. I have written Ball
Bacall.
here.
No,
It's not ball.
He's also acted in the movie in the scene.
Sir, baseball ka bhatija nahi hai, but ठीक है.
Michael Bacall and Edgar Wright. So,
Oh yeah, there's
again,
like that credit.
there's that
thingy,
strange credit, which is presumably he's done the first couple of drafts, and then him and Wright have done the next couple of drafts together.
Okay. Fun bit of info in a not fun film.
I mean, I
Yes.
had to check the WGA's site because I was like, what the fuck is that credit? Why does he have his name twice? The
दो
film
बार इस
started-
पिक्चर के लिए blame कौन होना चाहेगा, right?
Edgar Wright भी तो blamed है, produced and directed.
वो तो है ही, वो तो क्या बोलूं
और
मैं?
कितना blame होएगा वो
But yeah, I mean.
Also,
first of
sorry
all,
to
like,
sorry to listeners, any listeners who are fans of The Running Man. Firstly, please can you explain to us what you liked about it, because we are curious.
please write a 3,000-word essay and send
No.
it
जो
to
3 word भी
10
चलेगा.
Downing Street, and I will collect it from there.
अच्छा. Okay.
I
Yeah,
was with
please.
the movie from the beginning. I was like, I thought this was going somewhere, but then
Yeah.
it derailed.
No, so
So yeah.
to me, right, because I'm a nut for like behind the scenes stuff, and I think I was reading a book on Sunset Boulevard around the time that The Running Man came out. I was like,
Bad
okay, I
decision.
think I remember, I mean, the book wasn't great again. I keep reading these behind the scenes books, and they're almost always mediocre or like the very few good ones, which is Mark Seal's Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli, The Making of the Godfather, and there is
सर आप भागो, आप
Sam
यहाँ पे भाग
Watson's,
कर आओ, वापस आओ,
The Long
वापस आओ.
Goodbye, The Last Goodbye, which is the death of Hollywood and Chinatown.
Okay.
and the making of Chinatown. Sorry,
Sam Wasson.
Sam
Yeah,
Wilson.
Sam
So the thing with Running Man was it released on 11th of November, like a month and 10 days ago, and it started shooting in November of 2024. Now you're used to this kind of production in India, where like yeah, we are releasing in 6 months, we're starting shoot now, we'll be ready.
पोस्ट प्रोडक्शन होता कहाँ है वैसे भी एडिट थोड़ा ना करते हैं पिक्चर इंडिया में
Exactly. But this one also felt unedited only.
Rohit Shetty Singham 3.
No, not even. I'm not even going to the bad directors. I'm saying the good directors also, unfortunately, because the system is so chaotic in India, they tend to have like Raghavan, for instance, shoots like 45 days of schedule over 1 year, like 10 days ke, in bursts. So with this, I'm like, okay, if it's going to be this kind of a crunch where you're just shooting, and then you've got to do visual, it's a massive visual effects film. Because, half of it is
dystopian
shot-
world they have to create.
No, I mean, a lot of the dystopia is created for them because a lot of England looks like that.
Okay. I mean, Children of Men was also shot a lot in London. I
क्या
guess.
shade है क्या
shot
shade है
partially or actually significantly in Glasgow. Especially the projects bit and stuff is shot in
Children of
Glasgow.
Men.
No, The Running Man.
The Running Man.
Projects कहाँ थे उसमें?
When he goes to that guy's house with the younger brother.
अच्छा
It's like,
हाँ.
it's almost like the Saudi projects Boston.
Yeah,
kind
I
of
watched
thing.
it a long time back though.
एक महीना हो गया सर.
Yeah,
उसके
it's
बाद
been a
अच्छी
while.
पिक्चर भी देखी है हमने.
Yeah.
But
Are you
I
I'm like,
watched
okay,
one
how
battle
do
after
you-
another after that. But anyways,
Oh, achha,
Varun,
achha,
yeah, go ahead.
How would you get like something like this done in a year? And with the short answer is you don't.
Yeah.
You're not going to end up with a well-made film.
Yeah.
It can still be a
Especially
good
if you are
movie with
Edgar Wright.
lapses.
Especially if you are Edgar Wright and your मतलब good film का quality is here. So it's like
Yeah, where your the bar is set like super high. Where
Super
Of
high, yeah.
action
You have been consistent.
filmmaking, of like, and you inducing
No, of
whatever.
just basic.
Basic.
Like I mean, the way he whips a camera around.
Yeah.
Is very distinctive to
Yeah.
right. Suddenly when I was watching, I was like, first of all, this feels very sterile. Like
Yeah.
anybody could have made this. Literally anybody could have made
which
this.
is the
Except for
saddest
the
part.
Michael Cera section, I think anybody.
Yeah, that
could
is
have
the
made
only
it.
part where I'm like,
When
oh
you
yeah,
got
this is
4
this is
minutes of
Edgar Wright.
footage on
Yeah.
in a 2-hour, 12-minute movie or however long this is.
Oh yeah, it's so long. I forgot
It
that
is
also.
a fairly
yeah.
long film. I was like, if I'm thinking about 4 minutes or like Josh Brolin looking like a Mia Bhai a bit with surma in his eyes, and Coleman Domingo being his best Ranveer Singh on a press tour. If those
So
are my
Dhurandhar.
takeaways and
No.
not that offensive, and then you got this absolute like empty vessel for leading man. Yeah, like he's terrible. I think he's.
I mean,
genuinely
I
terrible.
have to second Varun. I really thought he was
And-
very badly
and I went for a
He was
pre-premiere
miscast.
show. I
He
went
was
for
like-
legit
miscast.
miscast. He was
I went
legit
for a
miscast.
pre-premiere show. I walked out and I just messaged on the group. I was like, yeah, this is not good. This is just, and I sat down. I said, you know what? I'm just thinking too much about it. Let me just get some dinner. I have not had coffee during the movie or before the movie. Maybe I'm just a little,
my
whatever.
God. I also didn't have anything. That's why I was so bored.
And then I sat down, and as I'm eating, I'm also thinking about the film. I was like, this is not somewhere. There are fundamental filmmaking flaws. The CGI is bad. There is no sense of rhythm to the scenes. Like you just there's a training
is shocking
montage.
for an
Like,
Edgar Wright movie.
शंकर एहसान लॉय से गाना ही बनवा कर डाल देता वहां पर यार.
In the beginning, he did go for some transition shots. And
There
whatever.
are
he
some.
did. He did.
That one thing where the foreground essentially is used as a
Yeah.
transition is the whole thing, right? That's
Transition.
something
And
passes
then
in the
he was
foreground.
like,
But
That-
after
that
a
is
point,
lost.
after point भी क्या? After 5 minutes, he's
Yeah,
like, I
it's
gave
just
up.
like
This is going to be like your most basic, and it has had a terrible box office run.
Yeah,
It's a bigger flop than Last Night in Soho,
yeah.
which was
But
a
the
cheaper
budget is
film to
also
make.
much higher than
Yeah,
Last
it's an
Night in Soho,
outsized
right?
film at 110 million. You're looking
Sir,
at
it is essentially like Glenn Powell's shot to becoming action.
Yeah, that was the whole.
I mean,
That
the
seems
whole
like the
Tom
pitch.
Cruisification of Glenn Powell. Again, you need, if I want to buy him as in, first of all, okay, you're not able to build that relationship up, right? Of parent-child. And my references
Parent child
tend,
मतलब किसका parent और
because
किसका child?
he's doing this for his child.
अच्छा, for his daughter, हाँ.
Yeah. So I'm like, we've had heartthrobs play parents before. ठीक है, in very different movies you've had heartthrobs play parents before. My Hindi film grown up mind sort of immediately goes to Shah Rukh in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. Very different kind of film. I absolutely concede that. But Shah Rukh was practically the same age then as Powell is now, playing parents to
sold it.
similarly aged children, and he sold it. You have to sell it. That is the
Yeah.
and again I went to Brolin then, because Brolin played that troubled parent in the questionable weapons. I was like, उसी को ले लेते यार, उसी ठीक
I
है,
to think this is
भाग नहीं
Aaron
पाता इतना.
Aaron Pierre's role. Get him in. Get him
I
in
mean,
from
Aaron
Rebel
Pierre
Ridge.
would have actually.
I'm like, get him in from Rebel Ridge
Yeah.
after, like, to this. He would have absolutely killed this role in my opinion.
Yeah, so like, but somebody who looks like they could be a parent. Like Powell is like constantly doing that same fucking expression.
वो
that he's
anger,
always had.
it's the his
Sir,
expression
he's not
is-
good at
Bachchan,
he's not
right?
good at emoting exactly. He's not good at emoting anger. He's not good at emoting righteous anger.
हाँ,
Righteousness
right,
to छोड़ ही दो, sir.
like
The
righteous
movies,
पूरा, yeah.
the
nice.
movies
Yeah.
turn into political nonsense is just
W के
hogwash.
साथ, right?
Yep.
कुछ भी
I
हो
said
रहा था,
W के
मुझसे
साथ,
मिलेगा.
and then I remembered
I
it
know.
has a decent scene involving a Y. That's the one bit of visual comedy. I was like, oh, Edgar Wright. You know, like one of
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
When he's
The-
hanging on the top of the
Yeah.
thing
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
Y, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah,
remember
yes. That's cute.
that you do this sometimes.
No,
It's
I
like
remember
the-
that it's you directing this movie.
हाँ,
Yeah,
वही.
he
Yeah,
showed up
that's-
finally.
Yeah,
Again,
It's like
right?
a journeyman director's film. Like,
it is.
there's no need for
Very good.
right here. Anyone could have like, does anyone
मैं
The
ही
could
कर
have-
only
लेता यार,
time-
मुझे ही दे दो.
Legit, the only time,
sir, I
legit,
think
the
we are
only
fine.
time it felt like Wright is directing this is when Michael Cera is in
So
the
I was like, when he comes up, I was like, hero mil gaya.
Let's go.
Like, you know, like,
Let's get moving.
This is your hero. This is your film's hero because you have that goofiness. I
I
still
mean,
don't.
go for the seriousness, but get a
I
better
still-
actor, do better writing.
It's not like the studio imposed the script on him.
Yeah,
He chose to do it.
yeah, he
He
chose
That
to
is
do
the
it.
problem with
He
the
has been
Running Man.
dreaming to do this film. So I don't understand what's the
I
catch
still
for him,
don't.
like.
I
I
still
think the
don't
studio
get.
forced Powell on him. Though.
Maybe.
I don't think Powell was.
Could be.
Because he's a
I still
Paramount
do-
guy.
I still don't get though why he has decided to move away from goofiness so much when it is such a strong point for him. Like, you know,
Because I mean, people want to experiment, right? As a writer, as a director, you want
But
to.
in
Even
this
Roma
sort of
wants to
film, in
suggest that,
this
right?
sort of film, you
Giallo.
can't insert
But sir,
goofiness.
इसका तो tone ही serious. इसका तो मतलब if he had stuck to the original script, which he should have with a better actor, the character dies at the end of the film.
I know. तो
It
it's
is a
the-
fully-
it's a
fully
9/11
bleak
thing
movie.
also, no? हाँ, no, it's
No,
a
no, it's a-
9/11. I know पहले हुई थी, but
नहीं,
allusion
9/11
अब तो
है.
उसी का है.
No, even generally it's bleak. You
Sir,
can't
yeah, at
defeat
this
the
point,
powers
it's
that
like an
be and
allusion
stuff
towards
like that.
everything, right? It's
Sure.
like an allusion towards weaponizing of truth and all that shit. It's
Sure,
like all
sure.
of that stuff.
So, and the thing is, none of the dystopia is scary because this is lived reality at the moment.
वो भी एक
So
problem
I
है.
have to be rattled by the dystopia. You can't be like, "Arey, this is dystopian." I'm like, I know my phone is listening to every word I say. You're not scaring
फोन
me.
भी confused हो रहा है at this point. So but ठीक है.
No, but it's
Seems very
it was
familiar.
just
That's the problem.
familiar, and I watched this. I think I told you, right? You watched maybe Oba after this, or maybe watched it also before it. I was like, ये social commentary Edgar Wright क्या कर रहा है इसमें? Like I'm like it's so inadequately inserted.
And it's like there are many critics of Wright who says that his postmodernist takes on genre, which essentially was Hot Fuzz and all that stuff,
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead, they feel too much like, how do I put this? Too much like baked in without being quote unquote original, which I completely disagree. I think his postmodernist take are far more funny and far more insightful than
Of
most
course,
people
I think so. Yeah, he's doing the double thing. He's making something and embracing older forms.
And
Like
embracing
his
something.
responding to the criticism, like his films are weightless. Like
Yes.
it's like an exercise in style.
Yeah,
mostly.
this feels
It's like
very
trying
much
to make something more
reactionary. Yeah,
important.
This feels
More
very much
topical,
reactionary.
like-
Yeah.
I mean, again,
Yeah,
he did the political bit. I know people aren't fans of
Last
it. He
Night
did
in
the
Soho.
political bit
Yeah.
much better in Last Night in
Yeah.
Soho, where he took the image of Soho.
I don't
and
know if it was
essentially-
done better, but sure.
I mean, it was 100% done better simply because Soho has acquired this image of, oh, sleazy but cool. and he was like, no, sleazy and dangerous.
Okay.
And then he starts sort of knocking on that door, and I mean, you go now, there are walk-ups in Soho, yeah. So, ऐसा नहीं है that it's completely gentrified to the point of none of that stuff being there anymore. But I'm like, if you could do that, because that is so specific to your world, to your experience of having lived in London in the 90s and having made a comedy over there and stuff like that, then I suppose this would have probably been a film better set in Britain, because with the rollout of digital IDs that is imminent, and the fact that Orwell is British.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Would have been like, so much more sensible.
Cautionary tale sort of thing would have worked out.
The only
but then who
person
do you
I
cast,
thought,
right? It becomes that challenge again.
Okay. The only
Also
person
that Lee Pace thingy did not land at all.
Oh no.
It did not land at all.
I mean, that whole section post the Sarah thing is a train wreck only entirely.
Yeah.
That though is just like
derail. Like you can see the film just go off track. Like, in front of your eyes.
Also, I'm like, is Edgar Wright a Metal Gear Solid fan? Because it's like Lee Pace is essentially structured. Yeah, because Lee Pace is essentially acting like Solid Snake. I'm like, क्या कर रहा है?
Sir, उस picture में, I don't know. I was just like, I can't believe what Edgar Wright.
Have you seen this one, the older version? The original film?
No,
I have not
sir.
seen the art version.
I remember
but that's very
seeing it in
campy apparently.
childhood.
Yeah, it's like
Schwarzenegger doing his own shtick.
I mean, he's homaged in this, of course. He's on
That was a funny thing. But again, I didn't get the whole thing of new dollars. Is this America? Is this not? I'm like, just stick to one thing.
Also,
why is it such a mishmash of even that cultural specificity?
What a waste of the other. Like I thought the whole thing with Wright was that the asides are also very funny. Like the ones, the two bits of death you get with the other two contestants is just profound. I was just like, this is so lame. I'm like, what is this?
Also, kind of like almost veering into that problematic space of the male gaze, especially with the woman, right?
Especially with Katie
she's
O'Brien.
shown to be butch and caught at a gay burlesque show or a strip club or whatever. I'm like, come on.
I mean, उतना lascivious तो कुछ नहीं था, but anyway.
Lascivious नहीं था, but वो आपको पता चल जाता है when you watching a film.
Yeah, when
if it passes you by, it passes you by. Fine, fair enough. If you get caught with it, then it's a bit difficult. It's like that.
I think the film was going through a lot of other also issues.
Oh, definitely.
I mean,
it's a first draft at best, which needs a lot of knocking into shape.
Considering वो WGA का credential thingy, calling this a first draft after 4 or 5 drafts is.
I mean, there's also, I think, an additional writing credit with somebody somewhere.
मतलब script का क्या हाल था?
There is that whole thing of Paramount didn't want this film to release because Ellison's and their Trump supporters and all of that. So they just dumped it. I'm like, after spending 110 million, you are going to release the movie. You're not going to just shelve it. Especially if it's Edgar Wright.
लेकिन Paramount है ना, they are like, मेरे पास तो Taylor Sheridan है, उसका shows है. Oh wait. Oh wait.
उसकी इकोनॉमी आप ही की वजह से चल रही है.
Taylor Sheridan is out of Paramount, by the way. That's why I said
Comcast, and
he should have brought in Simon Pegg for
exactly. That's the guy who is missing.
He would have punched it up and made it more fun.
He would have played the dad to a T.
Yeah, he would have been great. Actually, yeah.
Channel the
now तो he's all like Mission Impossible also. So like, whatever.
So Mission Impossible बंद हो चुका है. Tom Cruise is doing Inari to shade. So he's like, ठीक है भाई.
No. I'm saying that Simon Pegg's gotten into
Simon Pegg is
action heroes.
Fully.
Thing also, right? So though I really like him as a schlubby hero a lot. In Shaun of the Dead and World's End.
And Simon Pegg would actually be a very good quote unquote in dad roles because he's essentially playing in I don't know if any of you guys have seen the Boys TV show.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, he's essentially playing Huey's dad, which is very interesting because Huey, the main character of the Boys comics, that was essentially designed after Simon Pegg. Like Garth Ennis essentially modeled Huey around him. Nice. So when the show came, they cast Jack Quaid and then they cast Huey's dad. Then they had to cast Huey's dad and they cast Simon Pegg.
Nice.
I'm like, this is nice. Nice bit of callback. Yeah.
Hopefully we will someday get a memorable reunion. That's my hope, I guess. Of Edgar Wright.
Movies are going together. That's what I heard.
Probably.
Also because Yeah.
He
Yeah, I think
spent
so.
a whole year just finished doing like a whole year's worth of shooting, editing.
Yeah.
See, much as I may say it isn't a properly made film, the work has still gone in. So
Yeah.
you're kind of
Of
exhausted at the end
course.
of it, right?
Of course. Of course.
I think he's going to go back and just make a smaller,
Small
more
film. Yeah.
manageable
Yeah.
film.
Mm-hmm.
Not a small film also, even if he scales down from 110 million and
हाँ.
comes to something like 50-60 million,
50,
which was the
60 देगा
landing cost
कौन?
of दे देगा सर वो उतना ही
Yeah, Edgar Wright है ना.
he's
Yeah.
not burnt money sir he's
I
and he's
think
not burnt
उतना
goodwill
कैशे
which is
है.
more
I
important.
think उतना कैशे है. Edgar Wright has
He's not
that much cash.
Damien Chazelle वाले हाल नहीं होंगे उसके
हाँ.
Oh, the Babylon
And
thing.
even
Chazelle's finally
Damien
sort of
Chazelle
getting out of
Damien
jail.
Chazelle is doing a prison drama now. So Damien Chazelle
Okay.
is also
he's finally
back.
got like
Yeah.
I think
He's got
his
Daniel
cin-
Craig and somebody in the
Cillian
but his
Murphy, right?
cinematographer also has changed this time.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Linus
This guy,
Sandgren is off doing
Eric
Dune 3.
Masterman.
Yeah.
Oh, where did
And
Greg
shoot.
Fraser go off to?
Batman 2.
The Beatles.
Batman
अच्छा, okay.
Sam
Yeah,
and
वो आ रही है?
5 directors have to share.
Oh yeah, that's coming. Scarlett
But
Johansson
but
is in that movie.
2027
What?
release.
What is she doing?
Yeah. Scarlett Johansson apparently is
villain?
playing Gilda Dent, who is Harvey Dent's wife, which begs the question, मतलब Harvey Dent कोई होगा, अब Harvey Dent कौन होगा?
Oh.
Which again begs the question, why are you doing the Long Halloween, which was essentially Dark Knight का story? So, what are you doing?
Okay. चलो
Might change
ठीक है. On that note, any other more thoughts, guys, on the men we've discussed in this episode,
Run from some of them.
Run from some of them, yep.
or all of them?
Or
Or no?
all of them.
No, you can stay with like Robert Grenier from Train
You
Dreams.
can
Train
even
Dreams
hang
is
with
good.
Mastermind.
No, you can't stay with Robert Grenier from Train Dreams. सब
And
कुछ
feel
सब कुछ
intelligent.
burn हो जाता है या कोई मर जाता है उसके
Yeah, he'll
Yeah, you
destroy
can't.
everything in his path. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I
Why are you
forgot
in
to do-
hospital? I was hanging out with Joel Edgerton.
Anyways, no. Okay, one movie you guys have to tell me that you've watched that that's not in this, but and maybe you won't be in those discussions later. But just say whatever one movie you've recently watched of hope like contemporary, if possible, that you really liked that we can use as a recommendation. I will not say mine because मैं हर episode के लिए नहीं निकाल के ला सकता movie. But yeah, Amartya, go ahead.
Oh, आप मेरे से start कर रहे हो?
Never mind, Varun, go ahead.
हाँ.
I mean, I'm going to be there for that episode, so I won't bring up the
Yes,
film I was
don't.
going to mention. Give me a second. I'm
Arjun,
looking
please
for-
go ahead.
Yeah.
That's going to be my thing essentially with everyone. It's a merry-go-round essentially.
Sentimental value.
Okay, fair. By Joachim Trier,
Yeah, I
right?
watched that. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was like okay. I expected more. I was like
Okay,
pretty
you didn't
sold
love
on
it.
that
Okay,
film.
fine. Okay.
No, I just wanted to talk about it. Yeah, like
Mm.
I think I
expected
can
more
mention.
from.
I think I can mention two movies very quickly.
Okay.
One is I do because number one because one movie I don't know whether I will be in that episode,
Sure.
which is Wake Up Dead Man.
Okay.
Yeah,
Really like that movie.
Mhm.
Like liked मतलब क्या legit almost loved it.
You loved
And
it,
of-
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, of
Mm.
course. And this one is not contemporary, but I
Sure.
just watched this today,
Oh yeah.
which is Shole's restoration, Shole the final cut.
Hmm.
Gorgeous restoration. Even if I was watching it in a very crappy theater, it's still fucking gorgeous a restoration. That's one thing. And of course, it reminded me as to like what good commercial Hindi cinema actually
Used to be?
looks like. Actually looks like and actually used to be,
Hmm.
which is a legit thing. And of course, like it made me again want to watch westerns again, which is always a good
Yeah.
feeling. But then I remember, oh god, I have to. If I start watching westerns again, I'm not going to stop, which is a problem.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's not. Yeah.
So good.
So
Varun?
I'll have to add one
yeah.
more
Sorry.
film.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You go
Arjun,
ahead
go.
first.
I just, Princess Bride. Rob Reiner passed
Oh,
away recently.
yes.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Prince Bride.
Oh,
Such
yeah.
a good film. I really
Lovely
enjoyed that.
film.
I didn't know what to expect. I was just blank, and I just
Yeah.
went in and it was such a
That's
great
the Rob
experience.
Reiner film I
Great
have
director.
seen actually. I've barely seen his other work, so
I have
I
seen.
loved.
I
loved
have
it.
seen his entire filmography due to a
Wow.
list, and I can definitely tell you, वो 80s to 90s just stretches bangers. Everything else is bordering to a super mediocre to nigh unwatchable.
I've
which is
heard
sad
it
to say.
goes down very badly.
Yeah.
But
That
anyways,
shows like
yes, that's
yeah.
Yeah.
Princess Bride is too good. If you guys have
Sure.
not watched it,
yeah. If
So
you want to feel
awesome.
nice, also, it's a very nice
Yeah, yeah.
film.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
see, like see his movies are essentially like I remember, like I was telling somebody, our impression of America, to the extent that Americans' impression towards America was undoubtedly shaped by Rob Reiner's movies.
Okay.
Because
Correct.
because when Harry Met Sally essentially not
How
just shaped
close?
the
How
rom-com.
close were you to saying when Harry
No, I
met
wasn't.
Sejal?
I wasn't. Trust me, I wasn't. Trust me, I wasn't. When Harry Met Sally was essentially, it reshaped the rom com into what it currently is today. Every rom
Yeah.
com is essentially trying to reach that.
Yeah.
Then he has made arguably two of the best Stephen King adaptations.
Yeah.
Arguably.
Mm-hmm.
He has also made The Princess Bride one of the like very best fantasy adaptations ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He has also made The American President, a movie that in current hindsight feels like a bad joke or an SNL skit, because to imagine that a president is that good is just laughable.
Okay.
But yeah, but The American President essentially is the launchpad for Aaron Sorkin's West Wing.
Yeah.
Right.
And he also
Nice.
made a courtroom drama classic, Few
And he
Good
also
Men.
made the courtroom drama classic, which launched both Tom Cruise into the stratosphere and
A Few
reintroduced
Good
Jack
Men.
Nicholson, A Few Good
Yeah.
Men,
Sure.
or as Varun would like to call it, Shaurya.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
हाँ वरुण आप क्या कह
I'm
रहे
going
थे?
yeah,
to
Varun, please go ahead.
quickly recommend two films because I scoured through the list.
Hmm.
That I've not watched too much this month, so I'm going to go with one recommendation from last month, which is the Philadelphia Story.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
A friend of mine.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry? No.
Sorry. That was
No,
my
that's
mistake.
just Philadelphia.
That's
This is
Philadelphia.
George Cooker
Okay,
with
George Cooker,
Sure.
yeah.
Great
Catherine
movie.
Hepburn, Cary Grant, and James Stewart.
Okay.
Hilarious film.
Great movie,
God,
great
I
movie.
was holding my sides. It's got a very problematic ending, and
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay.
politics are absolutely very dodgy.
Hmm.
But Hepburn and Stewart go toe to toe in that comedy. Like Cary Grant is left far behind. Like, and if anybody has watched Hitchcock, Cary Grant is fairly nifty with his comedy too. But like
Yeah.
Stewart and Hepburn just sort of, they're like, yeah, you sit on the side.
You know,
we'll handle this.
you know the one other person who agrees with Varun, weirdly enough, that is Tom Rothman, who for some people thought, let's bring a studio head into the Criterion closet, and then he recommends the Philadelphia Story.
Wow.
I'm like,
But
okay.
he's an English teacher turned studio executive, so he's
Okay.
not illiterate.
Yeah.
And the
He's a bit literate, yeah.
the
But he's also the
another
person who greenlit Sony ka Spider-Man ka strategy of making films with the villains but with no Spider-Man. I'm like, sure,
that's
man.
why you
witness
don't
it.
give the arts teacher the business related decisions, no? You give him the creative stuff.
Sir, but वो तो arts के basis पे ही है ना. That's all I'm
Anyway,
saying.
another sort of appendage to the Philadelphia Story is Bringing Up Baby with Cary Grant and Catherine Hepburn.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Which
you're
is
like
ridiculous.
classic Hollywood
हाँ,
thing,
like
or what?
because I keep watching older
This
classic
screwball
Hollywood stuff.
comedy.
No,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what? You know what?
Power
You know what?
Hawks.
Now I want to rewatch Philadelphia Story. Now I'm in a mood. Yeah.
And I watched a classic Bollywood film called Nodo Gyara.
I thought you were going to say Sangam. Come on, Varun.
No,
Say Sangam, what the hell?
I mean, aside from Vaijayanti Malla, there's nothing in that film worth watching. She's lovely.
4
I'm
hours
like, Raj
before-
Kapoor, please leave the pallu of her sari alone. He's like, pallu bar खींच रहा है वो आदमी. I'm like, dude, stop it, you pervert. And दोस्त का नाम गोपाल है, कृष्ण कन्हैया वाली हरकतें ये कर रहा है. He's sitting on trees and watching her swim in the river. And it is the perversion isn't even concealed. He's given her like costuming that he would have liked to see her in. I'm like, dude, at least hide this shit
At least
from
hide
your
this
wife
shit. Yep.
and from the rest of the world that's going to watch your movie. No, the film I was recommending was Nodo Gyara, which stars a man and his actual wife, Devanand and Kalpana Karthik. In Vijay Anand's debut film, actually. It's supposedly inspired at least a little by It Happened One Night, which is
which literally
Frank
inspired
Capra's
every
film.
rom-com imaginable. So
Yeah. But it's a it's a road movie for a bit in which Kalpana Karthik is pretending to be a Sardar boy. And Devanand
ye
is
bole
driving her
Harippa.
to Bombay.
So ye bole Harippa.
Dil bole.
Dil bole Harippa.
Dil bole Harippa. What? ठीक
ये बोले हड़प्पा ये मतलब कौन क्या?
Varun,
No, it's
देखते वक्त picture को.
Not at all. But no, Nodo Gyara is damn fun. And you can see a lot of like the initial makings of Vijayanand's style as a filmmaker. And he's a filmmaker I recommend to a lot of people, because just if you want to see what a lot of Bollywood stuff could
fully.
be when a filmmaker was in control of his vision, because this is of course a producer's era for Bollywood, which to be fair has been all eras of Bollywood. Has been a
Yeah, that's what I
producer's
was
era.
going to say.
He's very much in control of his. I have watched a bunch of his films just now, like 3-4 of them,
Yep.
including a very mediocre movie called Blackmail, in which at one point Shatrughan Sinha is wearing a beige suit with a
Sir,
bright red
sir, you
shirt.
already said, Shatrughan
Oh,
Sinha.
come on.
It's mediocre. It's mediocre.
I
Why
think
are
it's
you?
Sriram Raghavan's
But
favorite film or something, Blackmail. I've seen him recommend
must
that.
be it's got Dharmendra. The
Okay,
great the song Pal Pal Dil Ke Paas is from that film, and it's got a great joke, which is they play friends. Dharmendra and Shatrughan Sinha play friends called Kailas and Jeevan.
Of course.
Great Ayurveda joke, but that's about it.
I think that's a good note to end on. I was going to recommend something just to annoy Amartya, but I don't think I
Karo,
I
karo,
think
recommend karo.
Bol do, bol do.
because we've talked about this plenty, so I don't want to. I was just going to recommend
La La
Sanjay
Land.
Leela Bhansali's Devdas.
Okay.
But anyways,
You are
Rewatch it
recommending it.
again.
That
I'm
doesn't
kidding.
work.
I
You don't
rewatched
like
it in.
it
I
only.
rewatched. No, I don't mind it.
Oh,
No. There's a small movie I watched actually called It Ends,
yeah.
which came out as at the same time Kennedy came out, I think, on
Letterbox video store.
yeah, my favorite
Letterboxd.
film, of course.
Those prices are
And
killing me.
and it was very good. It ends is on torrents. Just to so वो दूसरी वाली भी होएगी पक्का.
No, it's not just that. It's not just that. It's I think It Ends actually got acquired by Neon now, so it is finally going to
it's
get the
gonna get
theatrical release next
okay.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting, like one of those American indies which does lose steam the more it goes on. Like it has a very interesting concept, but then it sort of kind of peters out. But it's like micro budgeted and everything, but it's very good. It's like good American indie filmmaking, which I've been very pleasantly surprised by, like Roofman and Blue Moon also recently. I'm like, American indies are good. Like I've had one of those
I mean,
moments.
they're not indie films, either of them.
They are indie films. I mean, not
they?
not Roofman, but it has the indie spirit.
Fans distributed by Paramount.
Indie spirit,
Spirit is
okay.
indie. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Indie Spirit is.
I mean, Blue Moon is indie. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's indie.
Yeah.
They went on
It's
like with this
a-
shoestring budget. Ethan Hawke was saying in an interview.
It's a Sony Pictures film. I, wouldn't
I
call
also
it
watched
indie.
this film called Familiar Touch, which is also an American indie. So that also, which is
Familiar Touch.
it's by Sarah Friedland. It's about Alzheimer's, like, but one of those better films. Like, it not handles it sensitively.
मतलब
Hoola.
मतलब American independent film dealing with Alzheimer's is already making me less interested.
It's it's
Oh,
not
I
a
thought you'd
subject
say it's
matter.
already giving me Alzheimer's.
नहीं सर वो उतना भी harsh नहीं हो सकता ना मैं.
I think we are all covered for this episode, which was fairly chaotic, but I think we did a decent enough job of getting back on track when we
I
had
mean,
to.
Train Dreams बनाओगे तो chaos तो हमें ही लाना पड़ेगा.
Exactly. वो कुछ ज्यादा ही sedate है.
On that note, I again apologize to Train Dreams lovers, but
Please
thank
Watch
you
better
for
other
movies,
things to
please.
love.
Watch better movies, please.
thank you
Thank
for
you.
listening. Thank you for listening to this episode and sticking around if you have until till now, which is probably like 5 people, but like sure, thank you. But yeah, we'll be back fairly soon with the Indian episodes if Amartya and Co can decide when it is, and I can
अमर्त्य
clarify.
को का क्या
Because
है?
you guys will be there. I'm not there.
सर
Anyways.
आपका सर हम तीनों के ग्रुप का जो लीडर है वो आदमी का तो कोई रेस्पॉन्स नहीं है मैं क्या करूं.
Okay,
अब वो
okay. I
बीमार
will.
है या शूट कर रहा है, सो रहा है सेट पे, पता नहीं.
Okay. Anyways, we will. The episodes are planned. I talked about this in the last episode. So yeah, this will be out though by, I think, end December, Jan beginning sorts. So yeah. Hopefully by then you've watched all these films except for J. Kelly, which sounds like a nightmare. Courtesy
Definitely not
Amartya and
watching it.
Arjun.
It's
So-
inoffensive to be a nightmare. It's just one of those dreams where you wake up
So I
and you're
don't
like,
want to
मैं क्या
get
देख
bored.
रहा था?
I don't want to
हाँ,
get
क्या
bored by
देख रहा
any
था?
movie now.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think
because
खत्म.